I've seen 3 people like die in front of me, get shot, die in front of me. When you see it, it's not like the movies. It's not dramatic like the movies. But what you do see is mentally, it's like his spirit is gone. I'm not gonna say you literally see the soul come about him, but you see them breathing, eyes open, and to where it's just like, and they're gone. And it changes you. What's up, y'all? My name is Chris Ellis, and this is The Main Ingredient with Chris Ellis. Today, we're here with the platinum recording producer, Mr. CMT, straight out of East Oakland, straight out the Bay, making a hit since whenever. He's always had hits. Today, we're discussing the movie Boyz N the Hood. Came out in 1991. He picked it. I'm assuming it's one of his favorites, so let's get into it. What's up with it, CMT?
What's good, man? CE, what's good, man? Thank you for having me,
Right on, man,
appreciate it, over here, trying to push the envelope over here. So, appreciate it.
Okay. What made you pick Boyz N the Hood?
I love the teachings of Furious Styles in the movie, because you see how people turn out without a Furious Styles, meaning fathers in their lives, right? So I really love that they showed that part, what a father being in a son's life really meant, coming up in the world.
Yeah. Boyz N the Hood is actually a really good father and son. Amongst all the bullshit, it's a really great father and son story.
Most definitely.
About a man who decides to take charge and raise his son amongst all the chaos of South Central Los Angeles.
Ridiculous chaos.
Yeah. And the good thing is, it wasn't like the mama, Angela Bassett's character, was like a crackhead.
No.
Wasn't nothing wrong with her. No. She was just trying to get her life together.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a good thing, too.
Most definitely.
It wasn't like out of a tragedy.
No. That was dope that, the mom was like, trying to get her ish together, what I'm saying? But and he was like, they were both straight up righteous parents, what I'm saying? Like she was arguing with the teacher, like, hey, don't call my son, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's stuff that black moms do, what I'm saying? You ain't gonna call my son no hoodlum or whatever. He know what he doing, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that part of them, the parents, like they were straight up, like didn't take no shit about their child, you know what I'm saying? So that's what
when it comes to young Trey, they was not playing.
Right.
But the dope thing about that is that and I remember when it first came out, I got teased. Everybody was like, "That's your parents."
Right.
Like, when it came to little Chris.
Hey, I believe that, man. Chris. I can tell the way you move. That seems like that's how your parents.
No,
were,
my
man.
parents were just like that. Like I remember, I was like a little chubby fat kid, like 8 or 9 years old, and it was this one dude on the block that kept fucking with me, right, taking my lunch and shit like that. He was like 14 or 15. My mama paid somebody the same age as him to beat his ass.
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
Oh yeah, moms wasn't playing. She knew she couldn't touch him. She go to jail. My dad couldn't do nothing to him.
Right.
She paid another teenager to whoop his ass in front of me.
Wow.
So I can see how serious this shit is.
Right.
How she feel about me.
Right.
So I already know how my mama was no joke, and my mom was similar to Angela Bassett's character. Like when it came to little Chris, leave him alone. I got another story for you later. We're gonna talk about that later.
What's up. That's dope, man.
But right now we talking about Boyz N the Hood, 1991, Columbia Pictures, written and directed by John Singleton.
Man,
rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace. A great young, at the time, very young black director out of South Central.
Yeah.
So he wasn't speaking out his ass when he was telling these stories.
No,
he's from there.
Yeah, the story felt real as hell because,
super real.
Yeah, so that's how I knew. I was like, oh, you from L.A. for real, because this feels real.
Ever since I seen Boyz N the Hood, I was like, can we get one director with a nice budget, because I think this one had a $5 million budget. Can we get something like that for the town? You know how many stories the town got?
We got a bunch of them. Man.
1 million stories.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them that need to be told.
1 million stories, not only of people that are here to tell them, but we got stories of soldiers that have passed away that are amazing stories. You wouldn't
Amazing
believe
stories.
some of the shit they went through
Right.
in the
Right.
80s, in
Right.
the 90s in Oakland.
Right. Nah, I believe that.
Yeah. So Ice Cube playing Doughboy Baker. Cuba Gooding Jr. is Trey Styles. Morris Chestnut is Ricky Baker. Laurence Fishburne is Furious Styles. The beautiful Nia Long is Brandy. Raymond Turner is Ferris. We'll get to Ferris later. I couldn't stand that motherfucker. Angela Bassett is Reva Devereaux. Tyra Farrell is Brenda Baker. And the budget was $5.7 million, like I said, and it grossed $57.5 million at the box office.
Ooh.
So it did good numbers.
Oh, yeah.
For 1991, for a black film,
Oh, yeah.
that was huge.
That's huge, man. Come on, man.
That was huge.
You grossed 10 times more than you spent on that.
Yeah, and quiet as kept back then, they probably wasn't thinking it was going to make no money anyway.
No.
You want to keep it real.
Yeah.
I feel like they might have just, just to pacify the black community, let them go ahead and make this little black movie.
Yeah.
And when it don't do nothing, that's the excuse we're going to use for not letting them make another one.
Yeah.
But it blew up.
Yeah, man.
And it sparked something.
Got him another deal out of that.
Yeah. At the Academy Awards, it got 2 nominations. I think it was Best Director and Best Screenplay, both John Singleton.
Sweet.
He didn't win, but a lot of it has to do with politics.
Of
Young
course.
black man, he in
Of course,
Hollywood,
of course.
So.
I mean, it was fresh black film, so they wasn't they wasn't giving us the accolades that fast.
Not only had we as a black community had never seen nothing like that, they definitely never saw no shit like this.
No.
They never saw nothing like this.
No.
This movie's like a comet in the sky. Nobody ever saw nothing like this and didn't know how to process the success from it.
Right.
But I feel like there were a lot of positives, but the press kept pushing the negatives, which was the shootings at the theaters.
Of course.
Anybody got shot by a theater, it was Boyz N the Hood fault. It was like, Boyz N the Hood, what are you playing at that theater? Why are you blaming it on that?
Man, it's a cold game, yo.
It was a cold game back then. But it did win MTV Award, back in the day for Best New Filmmaker, John Singleton, and it won an NAACP Award for Outstanding Motion Picture. It got its accolades. Should have gotten more.
Of course.
Because it's kind of like the Chronic album. The test of time showed how dope that album actually was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, from history that certain things should have gotten the recognition they should have gotten when it came out, but because of politics stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he never really got it, but Boyz N the Hood, we about to get into it. So, opening scene, there's the Columbia symbol of the statue, and then you hear some dudes getting into it.
Shout out to DJ Pooh. I know that's DJ.
Was that DJ Pooh?
That's DJ Pooh voice who's like,
Shout out to DJ
where they at?
Pooh. Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah.
But
From the very beginning somebody
man.
about to get smoked.
Oh man, when that scene opened up, I was like, yo, man, that's just how intense it be, yo. It caught me right off the bat. It's so intense, like, oh shit, it's really starting off. They about to really?
Oh, John wasn't no joke. John said, we gonna go right into it.
Yeah, man. That was dope, man.
We gonna get right into the bullshit.
Dope that, he basically saying, overall, this is how it is. And
it's how it is.
This is how
it's a quick decision. It's a revenge and a get back fast. That's why they say it's a difference between gang members and gang bangers. Bangers is really, they about that action. They hunting.
They really
out there hunting.
Yeah.
And gang members is dudes who just be doing the dance at the parties and shit. They ain't really about They're more or less affiliated. Maybe they brothers or uncles, part of it. They might live in the neighborhood, so they part of it. But they ain't banging though. They not going to the malls banging on people.
Right.
But yeah, John started off with that realness, man. And then it said on the screen, 1 in every 21 black men will be murdered in their lifetime. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That was in 1991.
That was in 91, yo. 91. Ooh. Crazy. So I like that buildup was there, and then he gave you the game right after that buildup. It's kind of like, all right, this happens, but I'm giving you the statistics now.
The final result is going to be this.
Of this. Yeah.
Like, we can play this emotional game all you want to, but this is what's going to happen in the end. So, Like you said, it was it said every 21 black men will be murdered in their lifetime. Then it said most will die at the hands of another black male. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And that brought me back to my son.
Right.
Killed by another black man, only 14.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is the bullshit about America. They make everything about race. So they make black people afraid of white people. But that's not who killing us.
No.
You want to keep it real.
Keep it a buck.
800 murders in Chicago. It ain't no white person running around killing black people in Chicago. That's not existing. It's not even like that in Oakland or nowhere else. It's us killing us. So it's like that hatred within.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Most
The hate that hate produced.
Yeah.
That type of situation.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
The hate that hate produced. You look in the mirror, you hate what you see.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely gonna see hate in the next black person.
Yep.
You don't even like yourself.
You don't even love yourself, yo. Real spit.
You don't even love yourself. Yeah. So, and then it shows a close-up of a stop sign saying stop. Mm-hmm. And I just took that as a symbol of him telling people, stop.
Stop the violence.
Stop this bullshit.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
At one point in time, LA had 400 or 500 murders.
Oh, my goodness, man.
It's just like, come on, y'all, this is ridiculous.
Hey, man, my pops almost, he from Tennessee.
Okay.
Nashville. He almost went to LA. And I always wondered, man, what my life would have been like if he decided to live out there, up that way instead of this way. And I was just like, I'm so glad you decided to move to the town, yo, because all that mess going on down there, man, I don't know if I would have made it.
I know. It's a lot.
I got caught up here, so I know I would have got caught up down there.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So.
I remember, like my son was murdered at the age of 14, and I remember me at 14 was the first time somebody pulled a gun on me. Mm-hmm. So this shit happens to everybody.
Right, right.
At any given time, especially in the town back then, it can happen to you at any given time.
It's crazy you said that age, man, because at that
14.
age, I didn't get a gun pulled on me, but I started walking in the streets and my homies was carrying guns. And I remember one time walking in a crack house and as soon as I walked in there, a crackhead walked in and my homie he pulls out the gauge and then points it at the crackhead. I was so confused walking in. I'm like, right, you about to kill this motherfucker? Right. He was just really trying to scare him and say,
he's playing with him?
Okay. But I was just like, goodness, man, I grew up with this cat, and this is the life you living now.
Yeah.
Like this is what you do.
Yeah,
man. So it's crazy.
You know what? Here's the thing and I try to tell people all the time, like, me and you from the same place.
Yeah.
Literally went to the same schools.
Yeah, literally same school.
So we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
And it trips people out when we out, Stone Soul concert and stuff like that. And I see the OGs that were a little bit older than us. We were in high school and stuff. Right. And they give me love and give me hugs.
Right.
And other people be looking like, you cool with dude? Like, what they don't understand is like, me and that particular person wasn't never on no street shit. We was always friends. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we never had no beef like that.
Yeah.
So when they see them beefing with other people, that's because they decided to take that street shit with this person.
Right.
I kept it friendship. So it's always love when I see
love.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it trips people out because they know that dude did knock some shit down in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's Chris, like, my homie, it's different.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, like, when you show love, you get it back.
Most deaf.
Years later, 30 years later, you get the same.
Oh,
you get the same emotion back.
Yeah.
But if you in that street shit, you're gonna get that back too.
Get that back. Yeah. You're gonna get that back.
You definitely gonna get that back.
He might not pop you, but he gonna, he ain't gonna fuck with you. He gonna look at you. He ain't gonna be like, I ain't fucking with that nigga over there.
Yeah. It's gonna be a different vibe. So now it goes on the screen. It shows South Central Los Angeles, 1984. So that's where we at in the beginning of the movie. And the kids were walking up the street and they seen a poster of a shot up Ronald Reagan, and it just goes to show you how black people felt about Reagan back then, Reaganomics and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I remember my dad really fucking talking shit about Ronald Reagan every day in 84. He hated Ronald Reagan. But me being a kid, I didn't understand why.
What was going on.
Now I understand why.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now
Oh, yeah.
I truly understand
Oh, yeah.
some of the shit Reagan was doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, to further oppress black people. I
Mhm.
understand that stuff. But
Right.
back then, I didn't understand why my dad was always so mad
Mhm.
whenever he seen that man on the screen.
Yeah. Right.
Whenever he see him on news,
Yeah.
he was pissed.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
No, that's funny that, this movie is different from 20 years age and then being old now watching it.
It hit different.
Yeah, so it hit a little different. So yeah, the Reagan thing was definitely like, yeah, I see why they had bullet holes in
that. You see why. It's just like it as an adult, you start paying taxes, taking care of kids and families and mortgages and shit. And these motherfuckers are playing games Capitol Hill, they ain't helping you out and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you supposed to be the middle class and you don't even feel like the middle class no more.
No. Ain't
you see why people get pissed.
Yeah, exactly. So I got it then, man. I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's about right.
That's about right.
That's about right.
That's about right. I have to address the elephant in the room in this movie, though.
Okay.
The kid Trey Styles, the little kid,
right?
He looked nothing like the older.
Yeah, man.
I understand it was hard to get black kids casted back then, but that little boy didn't look nothing like Cuba Gooding Jr. looked at 17 and 18.
That was probably like one of the first movies I probably was like, oh man, he did a bad job. But I still know where they was trying to go.
You know what they're trying to go.
Yeah, but when you first saw Cuba Gooding as a
adult,
older.
Or a teen. He was like 17.
Oh, yeah. You was like, what? That was Trey?
He went from dark skin to light skin.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Okay.
He literally went from dark skin to light skin. I was like, wow. But I'm assuming that it was especially in 91. It was, it's probably hard casting kids in general. But little black kids was probably that's the biggest headache ever.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Come on, man.
So John was probably like, as long as he can do the lines, throw him in.
I seen that kid in so many movies back then, so I'm pretty sure he was the favorite.
He was the favorite. He was the favorite. But I'm just like, we got to at least address that.
Oh, yeah.
He did not look like.
Not at all, man. When the grown Cuba came on the screen, I was like,
super light skin.
Is that Trey? That's supposed to be Trey? Okay. All right.
So young Trey Styles starts cracking jokes in class. You can tell he's kind of like a class clown a little bit, making jokes. And he gets into a fight with his friend about Africa, and the little boy said, you African booty scratcher and stuff like that. But where I want to go to is like the kid he got into it with, he was just walking with in the street past the Ronald Reagan stuff. Right. Which is weird. It's like, it's supposed to be your homeboy. But then on top of that, the little kid said, I'll get my brother to shoot you in the face.
Yeah, man.
Some shit.
That was crazy to hear.
They only look like they're about 9 years old.
Yeah, 9 years old, and you already talking about you want somebody to die, basically.
You want somebody to die over a little joke in the classroom.
Over a little joke, yo.
I said, I said, John Singleton was not playing.
Nah, but
he was going to keep it real.
Kept it real, because that's the mentality. If your brother is doing that, then your kid is going to idolize that. Yeah. So
I remember, I ain't going to say his last name, but at our middle school, it was a dude named Kevrick. Remember Kevrick? Me and Kevrick got into it, right? It was an after school thing, and we was getting ready to fight, right? And the first thing somebody told me, I won't say his name, but first thing he said is like, if you beat Kevrick, somebody gonna come up here and kill you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now at this time, we about 13, 7th grade or whatever and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not ready to die. So I'm glad the teachers came and broke it up, but that's the first thing somebody told me. Like, if you beat him, because I was at the time I was way bigger than him. Like, if you beat him, somebody gonna come up here and kill you. That dude come from here, the village, or whatever the hell he was from.
Right.
They coming up here to get you. And I'm an only child. I ain't got no brothers to back me up.
Yeah, man.
So I kind of understand the mentality of like, it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's like, you can fight somebody and get into it with somebody, but it's repercussions.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. In elementary, that was me. I had that cousin. He wouldn't shoot you, though. He would whoop your ass. He was a great fighter. He would whoop the shit out of your ass. So nobody messed with me in elementary. So
you had some protection. Okay.
Yeah, it was like, Man, don't mess with him because his cousin gonna whoop your ass.
No, she was real.
Yeah, it was real back then.
But what I think about all the time is that my parents, both of my parents, were from the South.
Same
And
here.
I had older parents, so they had me when they was in their 30s.
Mhm.
So I didn't have young parents.
Okay.
So they were mature, they were adults, and they
Mhm.
were from the South where everything was respectful.
Right.
You know, my dad was born in the 40s. Both my parents born in the 40s. They were old school
Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
So-
what part of the South?
Louisiana and Texas.
and Texas.
Yep, Louisiana and
Sweet.
Texas.
Yep, that's the South.
So I couldn't even talk to them about the shit I was going through because they never had to deal with nobody threatening to kill them.
Mhm.
So that's a part of the issue with black men not being able to get that therapy, get somebody to talk to about what they're
Right.
going through,
Yeah.
because people might not understand what you're going
Man,
through.
Yeah.
I didn't have no siblings,
You're right.
and my dad was an older man
Yeah, so
from Texas.
Yeah, so he didn't understand what
He
that
would have
shit
never
was about.
understood, hey man, Dad, I just had this fight with this kid, and I think he gonna come up there and kill me tomorrow. My dad
Mhm.
wouldn't have known what to do.
Yeah.
He didn't come from that.
Yeah.
So the same way you were saying you thought about how your life would be if your dad would have went to LA.
Mhm.
Instead of, I always thought about, like, what if my parents would have just raised me in the South where they were
Right.
from?
Right.
Would my mentality be the same?
Mhm.
Would it, would I be, more hospitable? I don't know.
Right, right.
Would I just be a different person in
Person,
general?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of stuff I went through and survived made me, like, I ain't gonna say a wolf, but made me aware of wolves. When I'm
Mhm.
around them,
Oh, yeah.
I know it.
Yep. Yep.
Because of
Oh, yeah.
where we was raised
Oh
up.
yeah, most definitely. Oakland will do that.
It will do that.
It will.
You can sense it's about to be a shootout just like that.
Mhm.
Just by walking into the club or
Yeah.
any spot, you be like, them niggas don't like them niggas. It's about to go down.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yep. Real shit, man. Man, they don't.
Yeah.
That's real.
It's real shit. It's real shit. But I just definitely wanted to, kind of just let people know, like, it's a lot of kids now that felt like that feel now how I felt back then. Like, they in situations, they ain't got nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
They ain't got nobody to guide them through the situations. So me, back then, I had to kind of be a chameleon. I had to be cool with these motherfuckers over here from the village. Had to be cool with these motherfuckers over here from High Street.
Oh, yeah.
I had to be cool with everybody.
Yep.
So I didn't get fucked with.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, that seemed like that was.
That's what I learned how to
Yep.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be cool with all the niggas in the mob, all that shit. Because in the end, whenever I got into a little something, everybody's like, nah, that's Chris, man. Leave him alone. He good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn how to do that. Now, the advantage of that is, as an adult, I also learn how to move in different spaces. Corporate America, but I can still go back to the
Still
town
in
and ride
town.
through any hood,
Mhm.
and I'm good.
Yep.
It's like you learn how to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to adapt because of all that shit I had to adapt
Right.
to
Exactly.
back then
Exactly.
to survive.
There you go. There you go.
It
That
was
part.
something totally
It
different.
wasn't like, a choice.
It wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice. And back then, nobody, the teachers and the counselors, they really wasn't looking out for you like they were supposed to.
Mm-mm.
Like, they can see you getting fucked with by people, and they're not stepping up to help you through that.
Mm-mm. That's almost like they were scared too.
They were scared. They were scared. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I ain't gonna, well, I'm gonna say his name. We older now. My partner Ezel, right? He come from a huge family. A lot of uncles, a lot of cousins, stuff like this, about 60 of them. And I remember one day he got into it with somebody at school, and he won the fight. So it's supposed to be over. Next day, U-Haul truck pull up. All his uncles out of the U-Haul truck.
Get out of here.
Still
yo.
whooped on the same dude he whooped on the day before.
Get out of here.
That's the type of stuff I had to deal with
Mm.
and process as a kid. Like,
right.
I need to know how to navigate through all that type of shit.
Mhm.
So my
Yeah.
whole process was be cool with everybody.
Yep. Most
So
definitely.
you don't beef with
So you don't
nobody.
there you go. Yep.
You
Real
know what I'm
spit.
saying?
I mean, that's.
And it just kept me sharp.
Yep.
And I still have that same instinct and intellect on how to survive because of those times. That's why I always tell people, high school didn't raise me. It was really middle school.
Right.
Middle schools really got
Yep.
woke my game up.
Man, it sure did. Man, definitely. it introduced a lot of characters I wasn't aware of in elementary.
Never was aware of.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Middle school, I started hearing about girls being pregnant. Started hearing about dudes selling crack.
Yep.
And I'm coming from middle school to where we was playing with G.I. Joes and
Man.
being kids.
Right.
The dudes packing guns,
Packing,
selling crack,
Yeah.
running trains in the back of the school.
Man, all that. Mhm.
It's like, it woke my game up to like, okay, Chris, you got to grow up fast. Whatever kid shit you had going on
Right.
in element, you got to let that shit go.
It's out the door.
You in the jungle now.
You in the jungle.
Your parents literally put you in the
Man,
jungle.
they did, yo.
You got to figure this
Got
shit
to-
out
Yeah.
and survive it.
Yep.
And survive it. And like going back to what I said, like at 14, when I got the gun pulled on me, it was walking down Coolidge. I was walking down Coolidge, going home when I got it pulled on me from one of our classmates.
Wow.
I'll tell you about that later.
Okay.
So that's the type of shit you know we had to deal with
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s, man.
Oh,
It was real shit.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
So
Yeah.
everything in this movie, I felt that. I felt it.
Mm.
Because I'm like, damn, I was going through that same bullshit
Mhm.
with these dudes,
Yeah.
man. Just trying to, when wolves smell weakness, when people smell weakness, they pounce on you. So you gotta know how to navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to navigate through that without becoming one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was definitely trying to stand my ground. Like, you ain't supposed to take my money
Mm-mm.
and punk me and think it's just gonna be that easy.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm not a killer.
Right.
I'm not gonna be coming to school with guns and
No.
I'm not doing all that shit.
Right.
So I just
Right.
learned kind of how to navigate
Yeah,
through.
man. That's a hard decision to make if you're gonna come to school like that or not, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons too.
It's a lot of reasons
Yeah.
too. And those reasons could keep you alive. I'm not gonna bash none of my homeboys that was coming
no.
to school with guns because I understand why they did it.
Of course.
You had to
Hey,
survive.
man, it's rough out there.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Got to do what you had to do.
So we get to the point in the movie where the teacher calls Trey's mom, Reva, and tells her about the fight and that he's suspended for a couple of days. And it's something funny when she was talking to him. She said, "Are you employed?" And it was hella funny because she was like, "Yes, I'm employed. I'm going for another master's degree." And she
Right.
started running it down the line
Right.
like I'm an educated black woman.
is-
Just because my son had a fight in school, don't
Mhm.
assume I'm one of them.
Right.
I'm one of them parents.
Exactly. One of them parents. Exactly.
Right.
She made it clear, like, hey, I ain't your average crackhead mom or, ratchet
Checked
mom or any of that. I know what I'm talking about. So you better be careful talking to me.
Checked the teacher quick. And
Right.
then when she said that her son was going to stay with his dad, the teacher was like, "He has a father?"
Oh, wow. That part, I was like, wow.
That was scandalous.
But that was-
bro. But that's how it was back then.
That's what I'm saying. That was a good lug to let you know that's how they felt about black women. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yes.
were looking at black women like, y'all basically, going there and just having kids and ain't giving a fuck.
Yeah. They
living
looked
off
at
the
black
system,
women like
yeah.
incubators.
Yeah,
You just in there to
just
have
living off-
babies.
yeah,
and-
you just having kids just to live off the system. That's basically what how I took that. You just basically
I took
saying,
it the same way.
Yeah.
Now, granted, those people do exist that
no doubt.
live off the system.
no doubt.
But that's not the majority of black people.
No.
And the problem is they throw everybody in that category.
Yep.
And it's like, no, that's a very small percentage of black people that
Yep.
are not trying to do nothing with their lives.
Mhm.
Most of us are trying to strive to be
Yeah,
better.
Most
That's
definitely.
just a fact.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Most of us are.
Yeah.
But they painted that picture of, it's kind of like the same way the news back in the day, before the internet, the news media, whenever they showed Africa, it was the jungle. So until the internet, we didn't know it was casinos and
no.
full cities in
No.
Africa.
Nice beaches and all this.
Thank the Lord for the internet, because
Right.
we've still been thinking they were just lions
Yep.
and tigers
It
and
was just
shit.
jungle shit.
And
Yep.
people running around with spears.
Man,
They showed that for
not knowing
80
Nigeria
years,
and
bro.
Ghana looking like San Francisco.
Yes.
But they black all up in there.
Yes. That's how the media controlled the stereotype of black people for years.
Years, yo.
On TV. You know what I'm saying?
spit.
So it's great that through technology, information is shared now that people understand that no. There are black people that are living really nice in Africa. Billionaires. Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I always think about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we get to where Trey has to go stay with his dad, Furious Styles,
Right.
because of the trouble he was having in school. And Chris and Doughboy's outside cursing up a storm.
Man, as soon as he pop in there. So you know where he at.
Chris and Doughboy is hella funny, man. So Furious asked them to rake up he'll pay him to rake the leaves for $5.
Right.
And I think it was Chris who's like, shit, I can get more than that from my brother.
Right.
Like, he cussing at an adult.
Man.
And he don't even give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck, yo.
But Furious understood. Furious didn't even get mad because he understand where they come from.
Yeah.
He didn't get mad at him. He didn't say, you cussing at He didn't say nothing. He just like, okay, I have my son do it.
Right.
I was gonna give me $5, but
and when you think back, it was kind of like I was trying to teach you motherfuckers trying to be responsible, but I'm going to teach my son how to do that.
Thank you. He was actually trying to school him and pay him at the same time.
Pay him at the same time, yo. That was the cold part. You was going to pay the homies and not pay your son. I was like, you passed up on some money. He was going to pay you.
He was going to pay you. He was going to pay you. And I feel like Furious at one point in time probably wanted to help the kids in the neighborhood.
Most def.
But once they got into that gang banging shit, they got older. He said, fuck them damn kids. I'm worried about my son.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do.
Like, you can kind of tell he was on that type of shit a little
he's
bit
like,
later.
well, shit, my son on the right track. I ain't.
My son good.
Yeah.
He might fuck with Ricky a little bit, like, 'cause that's my son's best friend.
Right.
But he wasn't fuck with Doughboy and them. Nah. All Doughboy and them got was a, what's up, Doughboy? That's it.
Yeah.
Furious was not messing with them like that.
No, he wasn't. He was like, I see what's going on with y'all.
See what's going on with y'all
Ricky
over there.
might have a chance with this football thing, so I'm cool with him. But.
So it was weird. It was not weird, but it was like I said, I see a lot of my life in Boyz N the Hood because my father was the same way.
That's what's up.
Only son. I had friends that he fucked with, but I had friends he was like, I don't like that motherfucker. That little motherfucker gonna end up dead or in jail, and he was right about a lot of them.
That's dope. That's dope, man. To have that.
This how dope my father was. Even to this day, there's grown men walking around who the only time they've ever been to Disneyland, to Tile to the Snow, is when he took them with us.
Wow.
Yeah, he would take my home. Which one of your friends want to go to Disneyland
dope.
with, so you can have somebody ride with on the rides and shit like that.
Yeah, that's dope.
And he would go get them, ask their parents. Parents don't have to give them no money or nothing. And he take them to Disneyland. Man. So there's people who never went to Disneyland other than with my father and my family.
Wow.
Like, so he was trying, and once, like Fierce, he was trying to show them a different thing outside of Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can have fun as a kid. You don't have to always walk around hard.
You ain't got to walk around hard and with a pistol or, scared of somebody gonna shoot you.
You can be a kid.
Yeah.
You can sit on a roller coaster and eat ice cream like kids do.
Hey. And it wake their game up, man. I know it woke their game up.
Yeah, it did. And the level of respect is still there to where even when I see some of my homeboys, they'll be like, man, your dad was a real one, bro. Like, that shit he used to do with us, he didn't have to do none of that shit. He didn't have to do none of that shit. And they understood that a lot of it came from the love for his son. He wanted his son, friends to experience the same thing. But just the fact of those kids never wouldn't have got out of Oakland without my father saying,
hey, man,
come on, ride with us.
That's dope that he played a part in that. That's dope.
He played a part in that.
Yeah.
And I think Furious, getting back to the movie, Furious was the same type of dude. Like, he probably wanted to help Chris and Doughboy and them, but they went in such an opposite direction as they became teenagers.
Yeah. Man, crazy.
Selling crack, shooting motherfuckers and banging and shit like that. He could really only fuck with Ricky.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's the only one he can really talk to.
That's the only friend that's cool with me.
Only friend. So I understand that part because it ended up being maybe three of my homeboys as we became teenagers that my dad was cool with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That he knew that if something happened to Chris, these three didn't have nothing to do with it. Them as his friends.
Right.
So and now that I have kids and daughters and an older son and stuff like that, I see it the same way in their friends. I'm like, I see the friends that are good for them, but I also see the friends that ain't shit. And I make sure I point it out.
Yep.
That you might want to chill out on homegirl you hang with right there because she always fighting motherfuckers and Nowadays, the fight leads to gunplay. So you gotta pick your friends wisely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we heard that as kids.
Of course.
Choose your friends wisely.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you really understand where that comes from. Because those friends that's always in beef, you will become part of that beef.
You will. Man.
Whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah.
You in it.
You in it. Yeah.
Like straight up.
Oh yeah. And because you hang with them. You know.
Hanging with them.
And even if you like not really with the shit like that, they saw you with them, so you were part of that.
You in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, the streets is like, you in it.
Yeah.
Doughboy, when Trey has to break up the leaves, Doughboy is like, who you think you is? Kunta Kinte? So letting you know that they don't even see it as something that they responsibility or something that a child should be doing. They see the slavery work. Raking the grass, raking the leaves is slavery work.
How's the slavery when you finally get your own house? You're going to need some leaves raked in your property. That ain't slave. That's keeping your property up to shape, you know? So,
right. But they coming from, especially with Doughboy, they coming from, you know, but his mama.
Yeah, his mom.
And the shit they was dealing with over there.
Yeah, you look at it, Furious Styles' house and you look at a Doughboy mama house, you like, oh yeah.
Two different galaxies.
I don't even think the paint was on that house or something. Yeah, there wasn't no paint on that house. It was like
two different galaxies.
Like they just blasted it and didn't finish the job.
Furious gets in the car and talks to Reva. You know, thank you for giving me my son, you know, and she thanks him for taking him and says, you always said that, you know, only a man can raise a man, a boy to be a man, which I truly believe. I truly believe that. Yeah. I think that a strong black woman could definitely turn out to have a nice, well-rounded son. Right. But it's only by her pushing them in a certain way. She can't show them by example. No. That's where you need a father.
That's where you need
the example of a man getting up every day, going to work and
real
providing for his family.
And I'll just say this real quick. My son treats women with so much respect, yo. And I know it's because he saw me treat his mom with so much respect, yo. Like when I see him interact, I'd be like, wow, he doing it just right. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know
no
it's
disrespect.
Yeah. So I know it's from him watching how I interact with his mom. So, you know, that's really important for your son to see that.
It's very important. Yeah. I wish more people took it serious like that, you know, setting the examples for the young black men. Right. So the first night Trey is there, the house gets broken into. What a coincidence. Man. Burglar comes through the house. Furious grabs the 357.
Man.
Start loading that motherfucker.
You know that's taking the full head off.
Taking the heads off.
Yeah.
So he loading it. Furious already know what's cracking.
He already knows.
He's seen through the mirror somebody walking. So he already know what's cracking. He assuming that Trey is sleeping. But Trey going to the bathroom. So in that situation, it can't turn out to be ugly.
Yeah. It could have.
Luckily it didn't.
Yeah.
Furious fires 2 or 3 shots at the guy. The guy loses his sneaker, but he doesn't hit nobody.
No, he don't hit him yet. 2 big ass holes in the door.
Big ass holes. Which means it's probably 2 big ass holes in somebody else's door across the street.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, shit. It's like, didn't the motherfuckers hit something?
The bullet's about to hit something over there.
Over there, right.
That's why you got to be careful about when you be shooting guns in a house. Because it will go through walls.
Yes, sir.
So they call the cops. It takes hours for the cops to show up, right? So, and another thing I liked about this situation with the cops, it's a black cop and a white cop, and the genius of John Singleton, he said, I'm not even going to make the white cop racist. I'm going to make the black cop the racist.
Cold game.
Hold on.
I just had a recent situation where the white cop was being an ass and the black cop was being cool. So I still be like, John, you a fool for that, because I'm still experiencing the black cop cool as hell and the white cop is shitty as fuck. So I really trip off of that. Like
in reality, it's normally the black cop is cool.
Yeah, reality, normally. Right. So,
but I'm glad that in this situation.
But it happens though. I'm gonna tell you, it happens. One time, I got pulled over for doing a Hollywood stop, and by a black cat. Man, he was such an asshole. Man, I couldn't believe I was just, But to give you some more information, I was in a brand new Beamer. So he probably was like, this youngster, I don't care what he do for a living. I'm hating on him, so I'm about to give him a hard time anyway.
You figured that you riding dirty anyway.
Yeah, he thought I was riding dirty, but hey man, producer business all day.
Yeah.
But there are some out there that just just be hating, because they in a funk or whatever is going on. So I could relate to that, even though I don't see it as much, even though I experienced it. I just couldn't. I just when I first saw it, I was like, damn, man, that's the same shit that cop did to me when I got pulled over, And from what I know, I knew some friends that joined the force, and they say they all go into it trying to fix it, but they all get caught up. They say after a while they start inheriting the behaviors of the bad cop. Yeah. So it happens.
They get desensitized to what they got into the job for. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they become part of the problem.
Yep. Most definitely. So that's
because this cop was definitely part of the problem.
He was part of the problem, yo.
He was definitely part of the problem. Yeah. Oh, good. Too bad you didn't shoot that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted the dude to be dead.
Man. Real spit.
It was funny because he tried to shake Trey's hand. Hey, what's up, little man? And Fierce was like, go in the house, Trey.
Yeah, exactly. He already knew.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Like, this cop ain't cool from the start. Get away from this cat.
Furious.
You don't need to see what these dudes be talking about.
Yeah. Shut it down. Yeah. And then the black cop already seen it was some smoke coming from him. He was like, is there a problem? And he said something to the fact that, yo, there's a problem. But too bad you don't understand what it is.
You don't even understand what the fuck you just did.
Yeah, you don't even understand it. And I mean, first of all, he got out the car with a coffee and a donut.
Coffee and a donut, yo. Like,
dude,
this
you're not even getting
serious.
out of the car with, like it's some seriousness to it.
Oh, he was disrespectful, yo. He just coming out the car. Just
hella disrespectful.
Basically like, oh, it's another nigga shit.
Yeah, just coffee and a donut, walking slow, gingerly, not trying to see if anything wrong.
Not concerned at all, yo.
Told the white cop, don't write that down. Nobody got killed, so leave that out to report.
Yo, that was cold.
I love the fact that John Singleton did that and just flipped the roles because normally they make the white cop just overly racist and the black cop will stand there and don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing, right. Yep.
But it was the opposite.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. But that's part of the problem with the police. When you have a bad cop, his partner can't tell on him. So they let it happen.
Yep. It just goes.
It just keeps going.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the partner gets called in to find out what was going on with the cop beatings and stuff. And the partner really can't tell on his partner because they got that blue line. You can't cross that blue line.
Yep.
You start snitching, when you get in the shootout, ain't nobody coming to help your ass.
Ain't that a cold game, yo?
That's a cold game.
It's a cold game, yeah.
That's a cold game. Yeah. Shout out to the good police officers.
Yeah.
Look,
they out there.
They out there. They exist.
Hey, shout out to that cat back in the 90s, Track Star, man.
Track Star?
Track Star, he made sure he catch you, but he wasn't too hard on you. He let you know, this is my job, man. This is what I'm doing. I'm here to catch you, and that's that. I ain't here to beat your ass or nothing, but I'm here to I'm gonna catch you.
I'm gonna catch you. Hey, he's right. Shout out to Track Star. He didn't have a record of just violating people, just beating the hell out of them. He would catch you though.
Yep.
He would catch you.
Yeah, he catch.
And sometimes he let people go.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't like he was that type of.
And that's what I mean. Like, he was a good cop, even though he had that reputation of catching you. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't dirty. He wasn't a dirty cop.
Yeah, he wasn't no dirty
cop. He just did his
Yep,
job. And it pissed people off that he was doing his job.
Yeah,
but that's really all he did.
That's
was just
all
do
he
his
did.
Job.
Yeah, he didn't take it no further than that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the good cops like
shout
that.
out to Track Star. I remember Track Star. That's old school Oakland.
Yeah, man.
So we cut to a scene of Doughboy's mom cussing out Doughboy as a kid. Doughboy's brushing his waves.
Man.
And his mama's saying, you ain't shit.
Oh, man.
Just like your daddy.
Man.
You ain't gonna be shit. All you do is eat, sleep, and shit.
Oh, man. She went fucking in with all that. She was going
ham. Yeah. And so Doughboy, being the smart ass, was like, are we done? Because I got stuff to do. Hell no, we ain't done. You little fat motherfucker.
Oh, man. Yo, I ain't never heard a parent go in on their child like that. Called him a fat fuck, yo.
She went in.
That was some cold shit, yo. Whose parent doing that, yo?
I know.
Whose parent is calling their kid, you little fat fuck? That was cold.
in
That was
on
cold.
her own son.
Yo,
This
that
ain't
was
nobody
cold.
else's kid.
Right.
This your
That's what
kid.
I'm saying.
So wherever he is, you are part of that.
You get that part.
You be mad at yourself.
Be mad at your motherfucking self, yo.
You raised this dude.
Exactly.
But we find out as the movie goes on, because they got different daddies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what I'm assuming is, this is just my speculation, is that she actually was in love with Ricky daddy.
Oh, yeah.
There was love there.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky was probably made out of love.
Oh, yeah. You
in
know
a
that.
real relationship.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
And Doughboy's a one-nighter.
Mm-hmm.
One-hitter quitter.
Yep. You know that. Man. Most
And
definitely.
that's what she really mad
Oh,
about.
yeah. For sure. Yeah. It's all in his DNA, she thinking. It's all in his DNA. He
all in
all
his
fucked
DNA.
up. Mm-hmm.
And I hate the fact that I grew up knowing people just like that, knowing siblings where I saw their parents treat them differently.
Mhm.
I literally saw it.
Yeah, man. That's sad.
One would get lunch money, one wouldn't get no lunch money. What type of shit is that?
That's cold, yo. That is cold.
My partners, Derek and Rob, they about a year or two apart.
Mm.
And I would literally see their mother give one money and one don't get no money.
That is crazy,
That's some
yo.
crazy shit.
They're
They
both
had
your
different
sons.
daddies.
They both your sons,
They both your
yo.
sons. They both going to the same school.
Mm, mm, mm.
But you give one no lunch money.
Hey, well, that's something I've actually never seen, but that's good that they put that in there. 'Cause you
I saw
seen it, so
I saw it.
I couldn't relate to that. But that, man,
Yeah, I saw it.
that was something new that I learned, that, that's how it can really be if you
Yeah.
got different.
That's when I started seeing, in middle school, that's why I said middle school woke my game up. That's when when I would go to my homeboys' houses, I started seeing how evil adults could be.
Mm.
So I started seeing shit like that.
Oh, wow.
I started seeing like my friends get beat, not just get a whooping, because we all got whooping.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
talking about get beat.
Whoa.
Like get hit with the fucking lamp and shit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, shit like that. I seen my partner mama hit him with a lamp because he brought home the wrong cigarettes.
Oh,
She was
that's
like,
terrible.
what the fuck is this? Bow.
Get out of here,
And
yo.
said, Chris, get the fuck out. Kick me out.
Wow.
So she could continue beating his ass over some cigarettes.
Woo.
This the shit I seen.
Woo.
So that's why I'm just like, I seen the evil in not only the adults, but also in the kids. Like I said, when I got the gun put on me at 14, it's about another 14-year-old that we went to school with. So I seen both sides, but that age, that 13 through 15, middle school, woke me up to the point to where even my own parents saw that I was different. Going to the middle school we went to, which I won't name, but going to that middle school, they saw that their son was different. A little bit harder, a little bit quieter, didn't talk as much. So they saw the change.
I saw you change too.
But they didn't understand why. Though.
Right.
Y'all motherfuckers threw me in the jungle with wolves. I got to navigate through this shit by myself.
Yeah.
Literally by myself.
Yeah.
So I learned how to make allies over here, stronger allies that if I got into some shit, they can help me get out of it. There was a kid from my neighborhood, another side story. There's a kid from my neighborhood named Jamal. Rest in peace, he's no longer here with us. Jamal had beef with this other kid, and I remember sitting in English class, and Jamal came up in English class with a shotgun looking for dude. He did not come to school that day. Fortunately, the kid was not at school that day. But Jamal came in English class with a shotgun.
Wow.
Ready to kill him.
Wow.
And we are 13 at the time.
Wow. That's
so
nuts.
just imagine seeing all that shit, trying to process it. You can't tell your parents about it because they wouldn't know what the fuck to do. My parents most likely just pulled me out and put me in another school, but all that same shit going around in all Oakland schools.
All Oakland schools.
There's nowhere you can put me that's going to be safe.
Hey, man, when we was at Bret Hart, my sister was at Fremont High. So I remember her telling me about a stabbing that happened up there. I was like, people get stabbed at your school?
You feel me?
Yeah.
We were still kids,
Yeah,
man.
man.
We didn't know nothing about stabbings and killings and stuff like that. So that stuff, middle school woke my game up and it turned me into a different person. My parents saw it. I don't think they even knew what to do about it because they never really did. Like, we're going to put you in counseling and shit like that. They kind of just like, as long as he coming home every night with no scars, police ain't looking for him, we kind of just going to let Chris be. But they did see that it changed, that I had changed. Because later on when I came an adult, we had these conversations and everything I'm telling you, I told them. And it was like, I wish you would have told. I'm like, but y'all, what y'all gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all from the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a city kid.
Mm-hmm. This is different. It's different territory.
Different ball game out here, man. And it's gunplay.
Yeah. Yep.
Y'all from the 40s and 50s South, it's fist play. Out here, it's gunplay. You snitch on somebody out here, they gonna kill you. Like, they not playing.
They're not playing.
So it's a different ball game.
Word.
We get the Doughboy's mother cussing him out, saying he ain't shit, he just like his daddy. And then Trey walks up on the steps to visit Ricky. And the mother comes out and says, "Oh, you furious little boy, huh? Looking just like your dad." You can kind of tell, and I want to know your opinion on it. You can kind of tell that his mother always was attracted to Furious, but it feels like at some point in time, even Furious being a single dude was probably like, "I ain't fucking with you."
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he said he was like she wouldn't talk so much. You know, she probably have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But you can see in that character, he probably thought she was attractive and then started talking to her.
She was a pretty woman.
Yeah, and then he was just talking to her like, fuck, I can't mess with her though.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
they right across the street from each other. So that'd be easy.
that'd have been easy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That'd have been an easy hit.
Yeah, exactly.
But look what you got to deal with. She cussing at her kids.
Oh yeah.
One of her sons a good kid, but the other one, he fucking super gangster.
Super gangster.
Turned out to be a super gangster.
Man.
So it's like, Furious is like,
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with that shit over there.
Exactly.
But
Like,
you could tell that something could have happened at some point in time.
He was interested in the beginning, and then found out he can't be interested.
Let her go.
Yeah,
her kids is wild over there. So the fellas, as kids, the fellas go. Chris takes the fellas to go see a dead body. Ricky has his football with him that his father gave to him. So and Doughboy's telling him, "Don't take the damn ball."
Because you know what type of niggas is about to be over here.
Past all the gangbangers. They want to throw the football. They're going to take the damn ball.
They're going to take your shit, yo.
They take Ricky's ball. Another thing I thought was dope that John Singleton showed was that when they take the ball, they show the protectiveness that Doughboy has for Ricky. Because Doughboy fought a teenage kid to get his brother's ball back.
Man.
And got his ass kicked.
But hey, man.
But he did it for his brother.
He did it for, anything for his brother.
Anything for his brother.
Even though they had different fathers, that's still my brother.
Still my brother.
And you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do whatever I need to protect him.
Fought a kid way bigger than him.
Got his ass whooped.
He got kicked in the stomach.
Man.
Everything.
Man.
It always showed that. I'm glad he showed that because it showed that Doughboy always had his brother's back. There was never, the kids never made a difference. The mother that made the difference. They was always brothers. They always had love for each other. But it's the parents that bring in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When they gave the ball back to Ricky, the one gangster who gave it back, he saw that little boy was hurt. I'm glad that he showed that there was some compassion
there
in the gangsters.
Like gangsters ain't always hard 24/7. Like okay,
hard like that.
Yeah. Like
he looked at Ricky and was like, we about to have this boy crying. Give me the ball, man. Let me throw it back to the little youngster,
right,
man.
exactly.
This is his ball.
It's his ball, yeah. We out of pocket.
You see we hurting this little dude.
Right, exactly.
He's hurting over this shit. Because Ricky looked back one last time.
Yeah, he looked one more time like, damn, man, you really gonna throw my ball? I ain't gonna give it back.
It was so sad to just watch that last look.
So you had to give it back. It's like, man, this is dude's life. I gotta give him the ball.
That ball is his life.
Yep.
And we see later on, it did turn out to be his life. Football was everything to him. So that not only was that a ball that his dad gave to him, but that ball was his way of getting out of the hood. That football meant everything to him in a lot of ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though he couldn't catch at the time.
Even though he couldn't catch. Even Doughboy was like, you sorry. Because he dropped the ball. Yeah. Like, you sorry.
Yeah.
So Trey and his dad go on a fishing trip. And this one they have the talk about fatherhood and raising a child. And he tells them that, only a man, anybody can make a child, but only a man can raise his child.
That's a bar, man, because you got, first of all, we learning how to, I'm just keep it a buck. Fuck these women at a very young age, and we shouldn't be having those train of thoughts at a very young age.
Hell no.
We shouldn't be thinking about no family or no shit like that till we got our shit, till we got paper and all this
Yeah.
shit together. So, you know,
I'm 100% against couples starting families too young, 19 and 20.
Yeah,
you don't even know who you are yet.
Yeah, that part. You don't know who you are.
And a high percentage of y'all are going to eventually outgrow each other, just naturally.
Yeah.
Not no cheating or no shit going on.
Just because
you becoming adults.
You're changing at
You're
that.
changing.
Yep, you're changing. So.
What she wants at 29 is different than what she wanted at 19. At 19, she only wanted you. Now she wants a career.
Yep.
She wants a mansion. She wants things in life.
She know what's more important in life than just, having a man.
Yeah, things change. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been, and I started off young with kids. So I'm not, I'm throwing stones from a glass house myself.
That's why I could. Yeah, that's why I could relate, because I kind of felt like I needed that conversation, or I wouldn't have had this kid this early. You know what I'm saying?
I needed that conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, I wish somebody, even my own father, I wish my father would have said, Chris, just wait till you get around 30 before you even think about having a kid.
Before you even think about it, yep.
So you can understand who you need to become first.
Yep.
Because it's not just a financially being ready, but are you ready up here to handle another human being depending on you for survival?
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. And when you're young, that's all you thinking about is just really taking care of that seed. You know what I'm saying? You're not really focused on yourself no more. You focused on what I need to do to make sure they got clothes on them and food and shelter and all that. So your
focus changes as a human being.
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
have kids.
So you need them 20s, man, to figure out who you are. And it's kind of hard to navigate when you got kids.
It is. And having kids young when you're in a profession where you might have to move around, like even you being a producer, or even if you was in corporate America and had to travel a lot, that hinders some of that traveling.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because you just can't be leaving your kids that.
Oh, no.
So you might lose a lot of opportunities.
Oh, man, I lost a lot of opportunities, man, doing a lot of traveling during them times. My kids not really getting that bond that I needed to have by the time I was done,
Yeah. That's people need to think about that. Get your life together, figure out what you want to do with your life. Then when you have a kid, you've kind of got it figured out. Yeah. But at 19, you don't have nothing figured out at 19.
Barely trying to get yourself together.
You might have just moved out of your parents' house at 19.
Yeah.
After they come from their fishing trip, Trey and Furious and his father, they pull in the driveway and they see Chris and Doughboy going to jail. And this is the last time we see either one of them until they become teenagers, adults, or whatever. But this is a point that I really want to point out. You saw the frustration in Furious's face when he saw that. He was hurt that they was going to jail.
Oh, yeah. It was like it was his own kids.
Yeah, so I don't want to make it seem like Furious didn't give a fuck. He cared about them kids.
Yeah.
And that was, he did one of these like,
damn. Like, man, fuck, I did not want to see this shit.
Yeah, he didn't want to see that. Because now you're looking at your son, looking at their friends going to jail, and now you got to go in the house and explain this. Why you might not have your friends for the next 10 years. That's a tough conversation.
Man.
That's a tough. Before we had went into middle school, my dad was, he was lightweight having a conversation saying things going to be different going up to where you're going to, and you're not going to have the same friends when you leave that school. And now I understand kind of what he was saying was like, a lot of my friends going to go to jail, get killed and stuff like that. And in that 3-year span of us going to the middle school we went to, I did lose a lot of friends to jail, to death. And that's a lot. And I never fully processed that in my head that other kids that were the same age as me didn't make it out of middle school alive.
Middle school, yo. Crazy.
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 When I think about it as a 52-year-old man, I'm like, that's crazy. I started losing friends at 13 years old. And it never stopped after that. It never stopped. Nope. That is mind-boggling for me to think of that now. Damn.
Yeah, man.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, we really should have got help. They really should have had counselors up there for us, man. They really should have. That was a lot for a 12 and 13-year-old kid to deal with back then, losing friends to gun violence in the 80s. And we had no help.
No.
We had nobody say, "How do you feel
Yeah.
about this?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I'm sure, man. You know, it's crazy you say that because when it was happening, I'm sure my mom and pops didn't know how to deal with what
At
was
all.
going on. You know what I'm saying? So
They
yeah,
didn't.
I do remember like not having no one to talk to and
Nobody talk to.
just kind of like this is life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
It just became a day in the life.
Yeah.
And you just pray that it wouldn't happen to you.
Yeah.
But it didn't. You almost had to put up a shield or some armor to kind of get you through it mentally. Like, I'm just gonna tough this shit out.
Word.
And no 13-year-old should have to tough out losing friends. You know, over this. I remember one summer. I want to say this is the last summer we was up there. So it might have been 85, 86, whatever shit. I lost 4 friends that summer, the same age as me.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'm talking about from School Street, like from where I'm from. And nobody asked me how I was doing about that.
School Street a lot then too.
School Street was cracking.
Yeah.
It was cracking.
Yeah.
We had OGs, we had youngsters, but nobody asked me, including my parents.
Right.
How do you feel about this? What's going on with you?
Right. Right.
These are dudes you was hanging out with, and they're gone forever.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Not one person asked me that shit.
It's crazy.
So I had to just get through it and just deal with it, process it in my own way. Right. And I know even to this day at 52, there's some of that I still haven't completely processed of losing those people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
It's a lot of it because my mother had a daycare for almost 40 years, right? Okay. So not only was these kids from the neighborhood, they went to my mother's daycare. Oh, wow. So I seen them every day.
Yeah, you was really.
And at school, and at Fruitvale on the playground. So we talking about somebody that's ingrained into my life.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, it's like losing a sibling.
Yeah, it's basically like losing a sibling. And to the point to where I was losing so many friends that my mother stopped taking me to their funerals. Oh, she literally was just like, we're not doing no more funerals. Wow. Because you come back sad, different. You don't want to talk for weeks after that.
No, youngsters should be going through that.
After about the 6th person that passed away, by the time I got about 14, 15, she was like, we're not doing no more.
Yeah, that's
we'll
smart.
send them flowers and cards and shit, but you ain't going no more.
Yeah, the only time you should be going to funerals is, the elderly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Only old people.
Because you can understand them living a full life, but not understanding people not living a full life, that's hard to swallow. So
part of the reason why I'm bringing up the story is that some of us, and I'm putting myself in there, even at this age of 52, sometimes things happen in life, stresses happen, and the way we deal with it makes us seem a little bit crazy, a little bit off.
Yeah.
But you don't understand where we come from. You got to be where we come from to understand why we process shit the way we process it.
Yeah, that part.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pulling up to the red light and leaving just enough space to get up out of there. It's a reason why we ride like this. Strap in hand, leaving enough space to out of there.
Yeah, man.
Always looking in the rear view, whether you ride dirty or not. You in the rear view. You looking in the mirrors. We came from an environment that if you wasn't on point like that, that's your ass.
That's your ass, yeah. Real spit.
You done.
Yeah.
So spit. Now, when people who didn't grow up with me see me move that way, it looks crazy to them. Like, Chris, you legit. Your car tags. Man, I'm just from a different place, bro.
Different era.
Different era. I'm always on point.
You're right.
I'm always on point.
Yeah.
To a default, it's just setting my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be able to get up out of there. No matter what happens. Hey. Get up, never get stuck. Always be able to get up out of the situation.
Hey, that's funny you mentioned that, man. I remember last year when the it was really getting really bad with the jacking. Okay. Some SUV pulled up in front of me, and with the gentrification, they got these little dividers right at the stoplight. These little, I don't know, they look like poles, but they really soft. You can move them, but
flexible stuff.
Yeah. So I remember the SUV stopped. The light turned green, but the SUV stopped in the middle of the intersection. And I was almost close to where those little dividers were, but I was backing up just in case this SUV tries something. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an instinct I have. You know, they didn't do nothing, but my instinct said, all right, I better stay right here in case some funny shit going on. But that comes from, you know, being in the town for years. You know, it built me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the average cat would have they probably would have got jacked because, you know, they don't know how it go. But, you know, once I seen the movement, I was like, okay, I see what y'all on. But,
you instantly recognize irregular movement.
Irregular stuff,
being
man.
From the town.
Exactly.
Like, that shit ain't normal.
It ain't
Why
normal.
they stopping like that?
Why you stopping like that? And I'm sure they was on it, but because they saw I was on it,
okay.
They was like, well, he on it. We ain't about to, it's going to be tough to get him.
It's going to be, we might have to take a couple bullets to get him.
It's going to be tough. So they just ended up breaking out. But
yeah. I mean, even at the point in my life now to where when I walk into certain places, you know, I might walk to get, you know, a soda or something out the liquor store or something like that. Just normal place that you would normally go to. I'm always aware of my surroundings, and I'm always aware of who's in the aisles when I walk into the store. I'm looking, because you never know.
You never know what they own, yo.
You don't know what they own. Are they back there getting their guns loaded, getting ready to rob the store? Like, exactly. I'm always very aware. But as I get older, what I'm peeping though, and I don't know if you experience the same thing too, is like when the youngsters see that you're aware, you get a certain level of respect. I always get a what's up, OG? You can go before me, OG. I'm good, man. You can go ahead of me, man. Yeah, it's a different level. Like they looking like he own it. He know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
most definitely. Most definitely.
They can tell when you on top of your shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's always crazy to me because being a kid around my father. And once again, him being from the South, never had to deal with that. He never rode around with that type of paranoia. Even in Oakland, he just lived his life.
Right.
But me going through all that trauma as a child and growing up to adult in Oakland, it's different for me.
Yep. Yeah, most
it's
definitely.
Different when I ride around. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. As it should be.
As it should be. So even in a nicer area, which I am now, I still ride around with that same vigilance. Like ain't nobody about to do shit to me.
No, I mean, I always say, man, our environment prepared us for wherever we go after that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was really, you know, it was tough because most of the time it didn't look like it was tough. Like our area didn't look rough.
Did not look rough.
But, you know, you was going to experience something rough.
It did not look rough, but you was definitely going to experience some shit.
Right. So,
you know, definitely.
So I always felt like, you know, if you can make it around here through the bullshit, you're going to definitely be all right everywhere else.
I seen an interview with Too Short one time, and Too Short said something that summarizes Oakland. He said, you can line up 10 dudes from Oakland, and you'll never be able to tell who is the most violent. That's how Oakland dudes operate. You'll never be able to tell which one is the actual killer. Because it'll be dudes like you with glasses, dudes like me, facial cut.
Oh my god.
Might have families and everything. You would never tell who got the bodies.
Yo, man, the whole little partner regime freaked me out, yo, because none of them looked like mass murderers or nothing like that.
None of them.
But they was hard as fuck, yo. But
they all look like nice guys.
Right.
They all look like nice guys, but they was knocking shit down left and right.
Yo, yo.
To where even 30 years later, people understand like that crew was not to be fucked with.
Not to be fucked with, yo. Not to be fucked with.
Not to be fucked with.
No.
And even to this day, the ones who survived,
they
still get respect.
Yeah. And they still look like they not with the shit. They still look like they was never a part of it. I look at them and I be like, you was doing that? What?
Dude.
And they, you know, that's
they
just
grandfathers now, great grandfathers.
Yeah.
And they still with the business if you bring it to them.
Yeah. That part.
You bring it to them, they still with the business.
That's what I learned with
that. I remember Too Short saying that, and I was just like, damn, that does summarize Oakland and why you have to move a certain way because you never know who the killer is. You just never know. You in a club, it might be 300 people in there and 150 of them is killers. But then they're partying and shit. So you're not even thinking like that. And that's another thing. Like when I was a youngster, it got so rough in the town. Like when I went to the clubs, I was a dude with my back up against the wall because it's like I started seeing the gangsters, the thugs on the wall. But now that I'm older, I'm realizing they was looking for prey, whether it was a female or a nigga they can jack. That's why they wasn't dancing.
That's why they wasn't dancing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So as I got older and started hanging around certain people, they put me up on that like, yo, you out there dancing, having a good time. This motherfucker scoping out what you wearing, your watch, all this shit. And they gon' get you when you leave the club, though. Because you out here playing and they on some real shit. And it changed my mentality.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I'm almost the same way in the club. I just chill and relax, bump to the music a little bit, but I'm always just peeping the scene. I'm never the dude in the middle of the dance floor doing hammer time. That's not happening. Because I don't want to get caught off guard if shit cracks off.
That kind of goes back to, I remember seeing Ice-T in an interview talk about the P&D situation, or P&B with the rapper. He was saying, man, Californians have learned not to floss too hard. We've learned to just be in the background, even as celebrities, you know what I'm saying? We know, like, these cats out here don't play. They don't care who you are. So, you know, I think we definitely learn how to move as far as, like, you know, even when we got paper, we know how to keep the suckers away.
Yeah.
When, you know, when you balling like that. That's definitely what Oakland do. Like,
we know we have to tone it down depending on where we at.
Exactly.
And we put our survival above being flashy.
That part.
And just being a dude who flexing on people. That flexing gets you killed.
Flexing gets you popped,
and in the town, you that's what was happening. You wasn't just getting robbed; they was killing you and just taking your shit. And it's still happening to this day.
Yeah.
That's dude riding around flexing. They just killing them and taking their shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So you learn how to just look. I'm gonna go to the club. I might wear one watch, and that's all the stuff I'm gonna do tonight. Like, I'm wearing all these chains, the earring, the diamond. I'm taking all that shit out because I know the wolves is they watching. Even if you don't see them, they're watching.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man.
They're watching.
Hey man, one time we was at, and this was when I think Biggie just passed. We went out to New York. Went to this club out there, and we was with DJ Clark Kent. Shout out DJ Clark Kent. We came in there. He actually didn't meet it. He was already inside. He told us to come through. We come in there. We get inside. We looking for Clark Kent. I don't know. I think he was spinning or whatever. But somehow we didn't meet up with him yet. So his boys saw us and was like, fresh meat. We had on rollies and everything. Oh yeah, they was about to get us, yo. They was about to get us. We walked up in there and we was deep, but they still was gonna try us. They was gonna
you in there.
Cause we in their neighborhood, man. Shoot, man. We was getting ready. We finally meet up with him and he goes, hey man, you lucky you with me because my boys was ready to get y'all. I was like, woo, I'm so glad we with you because man, it could have been all ugly.
It's good to know people, man.
Yeah.
It's good to know people have connections, especially out of town.
Out of town, yo.
You know, all that checking in matters sometimes.
Oh yeah.
When you gonna be in clubs and you know out and about. Yeah. It's good to check in sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Checking in was, you know what, checking in was a thing before the internet. Even though they was talking about it on the internet, I was like, this is way before 30
years before.
Yes.
People started talking about people always been called, hey man, I'm on my way down there, man. Just, you know, look out for me.
Yes. You had to do that way before the internet, buddy. So,
if
you know.
If you want to survive.
If you want to do business, if you want to be out here and do business, then you better know somebody who running it out here.
The wolves are watching.
Yep.
So we get to the movie where 7 years later, Doughboy is having a welcome home party. So, you know, we're to assume he went to prison. And I think he does say he went to prison. Yeah. And they having a party in his mom's backyard. And his mom stops Trey and tells him to talk to him. You know, could you talk some sense into him? Maybe what you got can rub off on him. She says it just like that. And so he says he's going to talk to him. But you can instantly tell that the way Doughboy sees Trey, he sees Trey as a sucker. He don't see him as a real one. So there's no way he would ever listen to anything Trey had to say.
Nah, of course not. Of course not. He been in the pen, so he
did.
So he like, man, I've been had to save my life. Damn near probably had to kill some niggas to save my life. And you trying to tell me how to live? I ain't about to listen to your ass. You a punk.
When Trey said, "You like what I got on, man?" He was like, "Nigga, you look like you selling rocks." Like ultimate disrespect right there. Like, yo. I'm not respecting you.
No, not at all.
Now, the one thing I can say that was dope about the casting on this part of it, John Singleton picked the perfect person for Trey. Because Cuba Gooding looks so out of place, but that's actually how he is in real life.
Right, exactly.
He's really a valley kid who could be seen to be out of place because that's how he really is. Yeah. So when he walked into the party looking hella nerdy and shit, that's actually him acting how he normally acts.
Exactly. That's him being him.
That's just him being him.
Man.
That's why it looks so perfect.
I can relate to that. I was wearing that type of stuff back then, man. I had the flat top and the button downs.
We had what was the name? The Oak Tree. It was a store called the Oak Tree.
That was my spot, man. Hey, man, I used to buy the Paisley shirts and you know what I'm saying? The
Oak Tree used to hook it up. You get the whole
was
fit.
Spot, yo. The baggy pants and all of that, man.
That's old school.
MC Hammering all day.
Now, what I do want to say about the mom, so we're not gonna bash the mom. No. What I do want to say is that she seemed to have matured. Because you peeped it.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted positivity out of Doughboy. She wasn't cussing at him. So you could tell her maturity changed. She wanted good things for herself.
She almost looked like a Black Righteous woman with the gear she was wearing for a minute.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You can tell that she changed. You can tell that she really did want the best for Doughboy. Because like she said, I'm tired of him going in and out of jail. Could you just talk to him? Like, but she was more, I see more positivity coming out of her vibe than earlier when he was a kid. And she was cussing him out and, doing all that extra. And I'm glad John showed that because people do change over time.
People do change, yeah.
People change.
Yeah.
You can be a ratchet ass baby mom and then become a good Christian woman 10 years later. I
know a lot of them.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad he showed that change in the way she thought about her son and him wanting to be a better person and stay out of jail and stuff like that. And almost, like she said, she wanted some of that goodness of Trey to just rub off on him. Like maybe if you hang around him, he'll just start acting different.
Right.
But we know in reality that was never going to happen.
No, it was never going to happen.
That was never going to happen.
Too many. She called him too many fat fucks. So
it's too much damage done.
It's too much damage done.
Too much emotional.
Look how he was talking when he came out. Hoes got to eat too. So he definitely was used to the fat fuck shit.
Too much damage done. Yeah. After the barbecue, Trey is walking home with a plate for his dad, and he runs into Ferris and the guys in the red. It looks like a Jetta or Hyundai. Hyundai.
Yeah. The first Hyundais, yo.
First Hyundai. They ran to the guy in the red Hyundai. So I'm assuming that means they bloods. I don't know. Yeah, because they were wearing bull stuff. So I'm assuming they was bloods, but they really never.
They didn't cover that, but
which was cool. He wanted to stay out of that lane.
Yeah, but you knew because I'm sure in the songs you heard bull, disrespect, all that stuff.
Oh,
so
all type of stuff.
So it was.
So they pull a shotgun on Trey, and Trey kind of stands like a G, like. You gonna blow my head off?
Shoot then.
You only 2 feet away from him. I'm gonna be dead either way it go.
Either way it go.
But it seemed like they were just riding around, just playing with people, and it's like, what type of clown ass niggas was these? Who rides around doing shit like that?
Right? Who the fuck? I don't know nobody who do no shit like that.
You wouldn't survive 5 minutes in Oakland 90s.
No,
riding
like
around
that.
pointing guns at people.
Because some other cat gonna start shooting from the side. Like, did you see that? Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, you can't do that, man.
You cannot do that. I'm hoping that John putting this in there was just on some cinematic shit, just to make it more dramatic. And I'm hoping it wasn't people that was really riding around pointing guns at people and not pulling the trigger.
Right, and not right. That part, that part was a little confusing for me.
That was confusing.
Yeah, because I was like, man.
Because they were supposed to be real gangsters.
Right.
So real gangsters don't even move
like that. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm assuming it was just a movie, and it could have been because he was gonna bring them characters back later.
Right.
So maybe you just like, okay, let me introduce him on some bullshit.
Let me introduce them as these are the dangerous people.
Yeah, these are the dangerous people in the movie. Because because everybody was kind of friends and family in the movie, except them.
Yep.
So they was like, the antagonists, we should say. Trey takes the plate of food home to his dad, and his dad starts cutting his hair. And he tells a lie about having sex with, she's a baddie. Like, the homegirl was bad. Body-wise,
hold on.
bad.
Let's just stop there.
Okay.
Because we are in the age of where bodies aren't real these days. So
correct.
When I watched that, went back and watched that, I was like, can we go back to the days when the bodies are real ass and titties? Can I get some of that? Can I get some of that? Yo, it's, man, this is off subject, but man, I just recently went down south, and the brothers here in California, we always talk about, hey, man, let's go down south because it's going to be some thick-ass women down there. And I go down there, and they got ass shots. I'm like, well, what happened, man?
It's
I thought it was in the water. What happened?
It's a thing now, man. It's just what they're doing. It's what's attracting the ballers, the basketball players, the athletes, the entertainers. Because that's really what it's kind of about. They're going to catch somebody.
They're going to catch something, yeah.
They're going to catch somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say her name, but she been in the news recently because she's having a baby with a basketball player that's 17 years younger than her.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But she also has a baby with an NFL player and a whole nother basketball player.
I didn't know that
that's
one.
3 athletes.
I didn't know that one.
So you got women out here doing that.
Oh, wow.
They like, I ain't never working for the rest of my life. These 3 niggas about to pay me forever. Long as they keep their bodies up. So that's where the shots and the fake titties and all that shit come from. Because this particular woman is 39. So you would think she'd be done.
No.
She about to have a brand new baby for a 20-year-old basketball player that's worth about $80 million. So she good. And she know that. So in about 10, 15 years, she gonna do it again.
Oh, yeah.
She gonna be in her, she gonna do it again and catch some other food.
Wow.
So that's, unfortunately, that's what's going on. But to your statement, the chick that Trey was lying about, she was all natural and fine as fuck.
Fine as hell, yep.
Could put some women nowadays to shame.
Oh, yes.
On how bad she was. All natural body.
Natural.
He tells his father this lie. And it confused me also because I'm like, why would you sit up and just lie to your dad like that?
That's what I'm saying.
Where did that even come from?
That's what I'm saying. I've lied to my homies about, smashing, but I don't think I would lie to my
kid, you
pops.
lied to your partners.
Yeah.
13, 14 years. But you're 17 and you're lying to your dad about having sex.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I understand
and
that.
not knowing that your parents know you like clockwork. They know if you fucking or not. You can smell it on your kids.
Yep, you can
or
smell
they
it.
had some pussy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can
You
smell
move
it.
different. You
move totally different. You move with a level of confidence
Yep.
that you never had before. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was always kind of weird, though, that he lied to him and told him that.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, before he lied to him, Furious, going back to what you had said before, Furious said about Doughboy's mama, she might have had a chance if she didn't talk so much. So going back to that, I think there could have been something. Or maybe there was even an exchange
Maybe
of,
they
let's
tried
hang
to
out.
work it out.
Yeah, maybe they did.
They
Just,
tried to,
I wish they would have showed
that.
something in the movie where, like, at one point in time, they was fucking. And then it stopped.
Right.
Out of nowhere.
Right.
Because Fierce is like,
This ain't
you too wild
too
over here.
ratchet for me.
You just a little bit too ratchet.
Yeah.
I wish they would have just kind of explained, because you can tell there was an attraction. He thought she was a cute woman.
Yeah.
And she thought he was a handsome man. And y'all live across the street from each other. So it would have been an easy smash.
It's an easy relationship.
It's an easy relationship.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just kind of didn't happen.
Yeah.
But you can tell from Trey's mother that he would never settle down with Doughboys, a mother like Doughboys, coming from Trey's mom.
Trey's mom, oh yeah.
Educated, sophisticated. He not going from that to the ratchet shit.
You can't go backwards.
He going backwards. So Furious would have never done no shit like that. He might have hit it, but he never would have gotten to no full relationship with her.
No.
Unfortunately. Because I think he could have helped her mature a lot better. Like, that type of woman needs a Furious.
Yeah.
That's what people need to understand.
Yep.
Those type of women, they want change. They want a leader in their life, but they have so many ratchet ass dudes that they see the world only one way.
Yeah.
And sometimes a woman like that would need a Furious to say, no. Let me show you how men are supposed to move.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you out on a date,
Mm-hmm.
not just fuck you in the back of a car.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what a date actually looks like
Mm-hmm.
and how to court a woman.
Right.
And, and stuff like that. So those type of women have never gotten that done to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know that life looks different to them.
Mm-hmm.
The way they see life looks different to them. And I've seen a lot of women stay that way and some of them got out of it.
Mm.
It just depends.
Depends, yeah.
Trey is riding with Ricky and they have a real moment where he tells him that he told his dad a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ricky says, why you lie to your dad? And he was like, because I was scared. And then Ricky laughs at him. And that's going back to what I was saying before, is like, we don't really have nobody to talk to as young black men.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we tell our partners, he got laughed at.
Mm-hmm. You're still a person that don't understand what he's going through.
Has no idea what he's going through.
Because
And
He young too.
So we end up bottling up all these emotions of shit we want to talk about, and we don't really get a chance to talk about them until we like our age, in our 50s, to where we're discussing the shit we went through at 14.
Right.
When we should have had these conversations at 14
Real spit.
with professionals who can kind of help us navigate through this shit if it wasn't going to be our parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some type of mentorship.
Yeah, because what he told Ricky was that, what Trey told Ricky was like, man, I'm afraid to have a kid. I don't want to be no daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Ricky shut up, like, oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Because he understood.
He's like, because that's what I'm dealing with
That's
right
what
now.
I'm dealing with right now. Shit, my baby mama lived with us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, Ricky was living that life.
Mm-hmm.
Baby mama living there, his older brother living there, banging out. Mama still ain't got no man. Reva calls Trey and gets into an argument. Going back to it, Reva's Trey's mom, for people who trying to catch up. Reva calls Trey, but she gets into an argument with Furious about Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of letting you know that their parenting decisions are a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
How she feels about how Trey should be raised is totally different than how Furious feels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of natural because he's a man.
Mm-hmm.
We want to raise our sons to a certain standard than maybe a woman would.
Most definitely.
Because a woman would see him as a baby. And that's one of the things he said on the phone, like, he's not a baby, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a baby no more.
Baby no more, exactly.
You got to let him live his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and sometimes it's hard, to tell a mother who, especially if she's a young mother, because basically that means that she grew up with a child. She she turned into adult as she was raising a child. So that child is like her everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell that same woman, let him go.
Yep. Most definitely.
Some women will literally be like, fuck you, I'm not letting him go. That's my baby. You always hear that out of a woman's mouth. That's my baby.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, I'm the dad too now.
Exactly.
I do get a say so.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that, as they say now, standing on business. I'm glad Furious stood on business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, my son, he's staying here.
Mm-hmm.
I've raised him to this point.
Yep.
He's good.
Yep.
Good grades. Ain't been to jail, none of that stuff. Why would we ever even deviate from the...
Yeah, why are we stopping the plan?
The plan is working.
It's working, exactly.
You want him back with you.
Exactly.
Because you got your life together.
Right, exactly. Because you feeling... lonely and left out, and it's like, hey, this ain't about you, it's about him.
Going back to a lot of women raising their sons as son husbands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's becoming a thing now.
Oh,
it's like, my baby gonna stay with me as long as he want to. Well, you ain't gonna let him grow up. You ain't gonna let him be a man and go get another woman.
Right.
Oh, because you don't want no competition. we gonna get to the real root of it. A woman, a new girlfriend or a new wife, that's competition.
Mm-hmm.
He has to give her a certain level of priority, and it might be over you.
It's over. Of course it is.
A lot of women don't like that.
No, they don't
like that shit.
No. Real spit. Real spit, yo.
So a recruiter from USC comes to visit, and everybody's ready. Ricky's ready. The girlfriend is ready. Except Doughboy and him, who's on the porch,
right,
blocking the door. He got company coming over that can change his life, and y'all just on the porch smoking
and drinking.
Y'all got guns, all type of shit, like
cussing and shit.
Got one of Doughboy's partners like, "Could you hook me up with a scholarship? I used to play baseball back in the day." Who like, what do you do now?
No gangster.
Yeah, what do you do now? Nothing. So even Doughboy was like, man, don't y'all see this man here on business? Move out the way. Start kicking his partners, kick the dude in the wheelchair. Move, punk. Move. I'm like, Doughboy crazy. Cold. But at least Doughboy understood, like, he here for my brother.
Exactly.
Like, we not about to fuck up my brother's chances.
We're not about to, ruin his chances.
We not ruin none of that.
Even though we some fucked up individuals, my brother still got a shot. So
and I don't want my mama yelling at me about us fucking up on my brother.
Exactly. Straighten the fuck up now.
Straighten up now. Move out the way. Let the man in.
Right.
Ricky's mom, she's dressed up. You can tell she's ready. She's ready to show her best. Once again, like I said, she looks like she's matured. She's ready to help her son process, get through this stuff. And she puts a little lemonade out there for him and stuff like that. And she has a lot of encouraging words for Ricky before the recruiter walks in the house. Like, baby, I always knew you can do it. And what it makes me think is like, why you just never told some shit like that to Doughboy? That could have changed his life.
That could have changed his life, yo.
Them same words could have shaped that little kid to a whole different person.
Man.
But you call him a fat fuck and all type of shit.
Yo, that was terrible. Every time I watched that, I was like, God damn, that's the worst thing you could say to a fucking 10-year-old, man. What the hell?
During that whole rant, she said something also like, I'll knock you in the next week or something.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You just saying all the wrong shit.
Yeah, all the wrong shit, yo.
It was so good to see that John showed that she had all these encouraging words for the kids she liked, but all this hateful shit for the kids she hated. But she never kicked Doughboy out.
No, she didn't kick him out. But
so it's like, what is this about? Like, you talk to him like you hate him.
Yeah, she had some little empathy though.
But you had a little empathy because you wouldn't kick him out.
Nah, I wouldn't kick him out.
Which a lot of moms would do. They the sons gang banging, carrying guns and shit. You wouldn't kick him out, but you shit on him every chance you get. Even as an older teenager, you're still shitting on him.
Still shitting on him.
Would you get you and your gang banging, driving ass friends out of my living room? It's like, damn, you don't get it. Even his partners was like, that's because they got different daddies. What's his name? Dookie with the pacifier in his mouth.
Right.
He was like, because they got different daddies. That's why she treat him like that. So even they understood what was going on. Even since they were little kids, it's probably been that way. Trey and Ricky take a trip to see Furious. Furious is at his office. Now, Furious it doesn't look like he really doing nothing in his office. He just sitting in his fucking,
right.
He really doing
That's why I was like, what? I look back, what are you doing here? What do you do?
That's why Ricky was like, what do you do? Like, you just sitting in the thing. And I want to say it says Furious Financial or something. It had something to do with money or whatever.
Right.
Furious Investments or something like that. But it literally looked like he was just sitting there at his desk not doing shit and waiting for them to walk in.
Right.
So they come in and he asked them how their SATs went because they took their SATs, which they all have to score over 700 or something like that. But he said, I want to take y'all somewhere. So he took them to Compton, took them to an empty lot, showed them a sign that was talking about gentrification, houses for sale and stuff like that. And he tried to explain to them something that we're going through right now.
Right.
Especially in Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
Where
that was a real big scene.
That was huge.
That we should have paid more attention to back then.
Nobody paid attention 30 years ago to that scene.
You know, I thought it was serious when he brought it up, but I didn't take it super serious until
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think that shit was gonna happen in Oakland. Dude, I did not think Oakland, California, for those who don't know, Oakland, California is like half white now.
Yeah.
Half white.
Yes.
I never saw that coming.
Hey, well,
West Oakland, all bought out by younger white people.
My neighborhood used to be, I stay in the foothills, Maxwell Park. It used to be just mixed with blacks and whites. Now it's really a bunch of Hispanics.
Really?
And whites.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
He schooled them on gentrification. They kind of listened, but they kind of like, we still worried about being in Compton. Right. They were worried about the niggas across the street.
Right.
But even the dudes across the street came over and he gave them some game. Like, young brother, you got to think. They want y'all to kill each other. So they can take the prices down, buy all the property, and move in. While you got to move into IE. You got to move in. You know what I'm saying? You got to move to San Bernardino or some shit. You don't even get to say where you're supposed to be at. And we see that happening now. I have so many friends that, used to live in Oakland. They all live in Tracy,
Yeah.
Stockton, Sacramento.
Antioch.
They cannot afford to live in Oakland anymore.
No.
Like they literally can't.
No, man. Your one bedroom is $3,000 now.
Oh yeah, it's over. It's over. So the boys leave from there. They go meet up with Doughboy on. It looks like it was like a car show type of street setting where everybody
like
kind of
sideshow.
sideshow. Yeah, like old school sideshow. You know, you got the 6'4s, the low riders. Ferris bumps into Ricky hella hard. You can tell he did that shit on purpose too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He threw the extra.
Oh, yeah. It was like, yeah, we trying to start some shit with this.
Trying to start some shit. You can tell Ferris was trying to start some shit. And it turns into the girl saying, "Can't we just have a peaceful night?" And of course, shut up, bitch. That always there's always one dude that's gonna say, "Shut up, bitch." It don't matter.
Of course, it was Doughboy because he's used to fat fuck.
Of course, it was Doughboy. Doughboy has no respect for anybody. Even the girl that's in the car with him, Regina King's character, he was calling her a bitch.
Shut up, bitch.
This is your woman. This is your girl, or at least your home. I don't know who she was to.
Oh, he's saying because if God was a bitch or something like that, he's like because God ain't a bitch or something like that.
With her right there. Right. He didn't even care. So they get into an altercation. Ferris, they go past. Q pulls the gun. We got a problem here. We got a problem here. They was like, nah, they put the gun away. Everybody walks away. Ferris shoots the Uzi in the air. Everybody takes off. Now, what I didn't find out till later, researching the movie, was that was unscripted.
Yeah.
The shooting part.
I found that out too.
John didn't tell them that was about to happen.
Right.
So the real reaction that we saw was a real reaction.
Yeah.
All the people running, the cars peeling out.
Right.
That's exactly what happened in real life because John did not tell nobody.
Yeah. He said he was going to make a gun sound with his mouth and then really did the
Ferris pulled that shit out and people started really running. Because remember, they did shoot this in L.A. Right. So they was in the streets. Right. That could have actually happened.
Yeah, so they probably was thinking, oh, this is some real shit happening.
Real shit happening. Yeah. So what's funny because if you look at the tape, Cube almost ran over one of the actors.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was like, I almost got hit.
I'm talking about
for real,
inches.
Inches, yes.
Deuce kind of slipped and fell.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
ooh, I don't think John thought that was going to happen.
Nah,
he almost ran that dude over. Now, he wouldn't have killed him, but he damn sure would have destroyed that leg. Yeah, that leg would have been gone. Mm-hmm. That leg would have been gone. Mm-hmm. But that was an interesting part of that scene.
Yeah, interesting part because it was really real.
It was really real. So on their way home, they get pulled over by the police. Trey and Ricky ain't that same black cop.
Same punk ass cop.
Pulls Trey and don't even recognize that it's
Trey.
The same kid that he came to. Yep. He pulls him out, puts the gun up to him, says you look like one of you Crenshaw Mafia motherfuckers. And he basically spews all the hatred he has for young black men in general.
In general, yep.
He just don't like young black men,
labeled
period.
This man. You just pulled him over and just quickly labeled him as a gangbanger.
Just quickly labeled him. And even, once again, the white cops sitting there looking at him like, what the fuck, where are you going with all this? Like, I want to say that the white cops' mentality was probably like, well, what am I to do if he doing this against his own people? Like, it kind of would put the white cop in a bad situation. Like, well, this is his people.
Right.
So who am I
to go against what he's doing?
Yeah, right. I mean, clearly, he don't like his own people. Like, I almost can 100% guarantee that there was never a report of him pulling a gun on Trey that day. I can almost imagine when they let them get back in their car and they drove off, that secret stayed between him and his partner.
Oh, yeah, that didn't happen.
He pulled that damn gun out.
That ain't happened at all. He was like,
never happened.
Yeah, in the report, we didn't even pull nobody over.
Never happened. And that is sad because that's such a familiar scenario. Yeah. Not really, I ain't gonna lie, I've never had a cop pull a gun out and put it to my neck or nothing like that. But getting pulled out of a car and getting sat on the concrete, that's happened a lot when I was a youngster. And it's always mentally hurtful for somebody to do you like that. It's very traumatizing. Yeah. You got your L's, Everything legit,
Yeah.
but sit your ass on the curb
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh yeah, I remember they did me like that when I first got the Beamer, man. I got the Beamer, and they had, no reason to treat me like they was treating me, yo. I was polite. I had a couple cats with me. They was polite and everything. Cold part about it, they didn't have them sitting on the curb. They just had me sitting on the curb. Like what?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm keeping it a buck. My friends was light skinned. They was light bright.
They got the
I was
Steph
the dark-
Curry
yeah,
love.
I got they had the Steph Curry love, man. I got treated like dark Gable. Yeah.
Shout out to Steph Curry.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, man. But I mean, they cold out there with the trying to prove that,
Yeah.
they could be hard.
I remember in 90, I want to say it was 96 or 97, we got pulled over we were trying to get to the Concord Pavilion to go to the Smoking Grooves. Remember the Smoking Grooves?
Yeah.
First time going to some shit like that, hella juice. I'm a hip hop head. I'm loving it. We get pulled over, get out the car. One of the people that was with me had the 4-way search clause, so they can search the whole car.
Get out of here.
Oh yeah, it was ugly. I didn't even know one of my partners had that type of clause on him, to where everybody gets searched. And they searched the car, all that shit. We showed up, the concert was damn near over, bro. By the time they set us all down, hella more police cars came, searched the car, check everybody's stuff. We talking about 2.5 hours later, bro. And that was one of the most disrespectful days that I've ever been treated by cops before. Because none of us did anything wrong. We didn't even get pulled over because we did anything wrong. They just saw a car full of niggas in Concord and pulled us over.
Of course.
And because he had a 4-way search clause because of some shit in his past, they had the right to just chop everything up, pull everything out the car. Now mind, this is my car.
Yeah.
So my car is getting ran through. Shit getting pulled out the glove compartment, thrown on the ground. Oh, it was disrespectful. It was disrespectful.
Wow.
And I never forgot about that, because I'm just like, it's almost like dehumanizing a person. Because they knew we couldn't do shit about it.
Nope.
And if you buck up, you get smacked in, especially back then, smack the shit out your ass.
Then, they had no cameras.
Yeah, wasn't no cameras.
Yeah, so you
talk shit back to a cop back then,
it.
you getting the shit slapped out of your ass. It happened a lot. I've seen it. So I've never forgot about that experience, because, like I said, me being a hip hop head, I was so excited to go to that shit. And I never got a chance to experience what I thought I was going to experience. And even since then, I never really talked to nobody about that particular day, but it always makes me feel like when you do stuff to people like that, it changes how they see shit from then on. Because it took me about 3 or 4 years after that to even go to another concert in Concord.
Wow.
Because I'm just like, they might do the same shit again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it took me some years to be like, even wanting to go to a show out that way.
Especially out that way.
It just changed my mentality. Yeah. Like, oh, that's how they see us. So I can't go that way no more. Anything that's at the pavilion, I'm not going.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so it kind of shut down my thought process, and it changes. We treat people like that. It changes people, man. It changes how they think about stuff. Yeah. So after Trey and him get pulled over by the police, and he get the gun put to him, and he's crying, a lot of emotions going through him. He goes over to Brandy's house, his girlfriend, played by Nia Long, and he has literally a mental breakdown. Going back to what we were saying, if young black men had people to talk to, those situations wouldn't happen.
No, he clearly needed some therapy at that point.
He had a breakdown in front of that girl.
Yeah.
To where it fucking scared the shit out of her.
Man.
He's punching the air, screaming, crying, and everybody from the hood has had at least one instance where you felt like that.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you did it or not.
Whether you did it right. But
you felt
I
like
understood
Trey.
all that emotion when it happened. I was like, I feel you, bro. Man.
You feel like you just want to punch through a wall.
Yeah, because this life out here ain't fucking fair.
World against you. You feel like everybody's against you, and you young, trying to figure it out. You have no guidance on how to get through those situations. So it comes out in frustration. As it did in this movie with Trey.
Most definitely.
So Furious meets up with Reva at a cafe, and she's basically mad because she found out that Trey wants to move in with Brandy in college. They want to, come together. They boyfriend and girlfriend. They've been since they was kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Fierce is just like, he grown. He got 18. He gonna do what he gonna do. She on his head. You ain't guiding him right. Blah, 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 blah. And he just like, but I got into this situation. How you talking to me like I'm about the one who got him to this situation? Going to college.
Exactly. Our son is good.
Our son is good. You talking to me like I did something wrong just because he wants to live with his girlfriend, who clearly they're not leaving each other.
Right. Exactly.
They've been together since like 10.
10.
They're not leaving each other.
That's some serious shit when shit lasts that long.
So, Furious' point of view was like, we might as well like promote them being together as a family and doing it the right way.
That's how it should be done.
That's how his mentality was. But his mama was like, nah, he don't need to be living with no girl.
She was not having that. She was like, nope.
Then she gave him a speech about whatever you did, whatever you think you did, you ain't did nothing special.
Right.
Women been doing this for years. It's like,
just cut him down short, man. Can't get her. You not giving no props for being a good dad.
Give him no props.
Man, that was fun.
Women been doing this for years, so you ain't doing nothing special.
Right.
Ricky and Doughboy get into a fight. Because Ricky's girlfriend asks him to go get some cornmeal so she can fry him some fish. He goes outside to ask Doughboy. Doughboy like, I'm not. She asked you. Yeah. She didn't ask me.
Right.
You fucking her.
Right.
So Ricky kind of brushes him off. Whatever, man. So they actually have a fight. Well, it wasn't much of a fight. Doughboy knocked the shit out of him. Got on top of him, started mangling him up. He wasn't even really roughing him up like he could have. No. He was kind of like, this is my little brother. I'm just going to kind of let you know that.
No, I'm still the big brother over here.
Still the big dog out of the pen. You just a football player.
Right.
You just my football playing little brother.
Right.
So the mother comes out and instantly slaps Doughboy. And to everybody's surprise, like, what the fuck she do that for? You don't even want to find out why they
fighting? Right, exactly.
You just slapped Doughboy out the gate?
Yep, you stuck in your ways that Doughboy's the bad apple, so
it had to be Doughboy.
him.
It had to be Doughboy.
Yep.
Even Doughboy sitting there like, what you hit me for? His partner like, Doughboy, what she hit you for? He like, shut up, man.
Hey, let's get on Chris for a minute. When I think about Chris, because in the beginning, he says, I got a loaded gun. My brother gave me a loaded gun. I'm like, did you shoot yourself with that gun? Is that why you paralyzed? They didn't cover it, but I always wonder, what you do with that loaded gun?
They never talked about how he ended up in a wheelchair other than he got shot.
Right.
Because Furious said, you want to end up like little Chris in a wheelchair? So
Yeah.
we know he got shot. We don't know whether he did it to himself.
Right. Right.
Or was he gangbanging?
Right.
But little Chris was swole as fuck in that little wheelchair.
Swole, though. Your top body was on hit.
Top body was super chiseled and swole being in that wheelchair.
And then just to touch on this, he was kind of like Menace to Society's character, the black positive righteous dude. He was kind of like him a little bit because he was like watching how. Because he couldn't be part of that no more because he in a wheelchair. Yeah. So he was like watching everybody be, gangsters and really like checking them like when they was at the side show, it's like, nigga, you be doing that shit too. Like, y'all need to stop acting like fools so we can live right. He's basically trying to put his little 2 cents in, like, we need to get righteous a little.
That's a good point of view. Yeah. He was trying to be the positive
dude. Yeah.
Amongst all the bullshit because Q was on some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Q was
definitely
like
on some
about
bullshit.
all the action.
Right, exactly.
All the smoke.
Right. So Chris was basically like, man, y'all don't want to end up like me, man. So just, y'all need to calm it down a little bit with the bullshit.
Calm it down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just calm it down. But you're right. He was kind of like the Muslim dude in Menace. Yeah. So after the fight, Ricky and Trey, they walk to the store and they run into Ferris and his goons. And they did something that didn't make sense to me. They said, let's split up. The fuck y'all gonna split up for? If y'all got to fight, if they even on some fighting shit, at least it'll be two of y'all against three.
2 or 3, yeah.
What's the point of splitting up? I never understood that about this movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird, bro. If we gonna go down, we going down. We brothers, we going together.
Exactly.
We not about to split up.
There's drama. There ain't gonna be no drama happening us apart. That's just... What?
That's gonna invite more drama. Now they can really whoop your ass. You by yourself. They really gonna gonna stomp your ass out now.
Right.
I'm like, that didn't make no sense. I don't to this day I don't know why John put that in the movie.
Yeah.
Because in reality, me and my homies would never split up in no situation like that.
No, never. I've never have split.
We not splitting up. We came in this motherfucker together. We leaving together.
We're about to duke them out together.
So when they split up, even the first time I watched it, I knew somebody about to get shot because it didn't make no sense for them to split up. I'm like, somebody must be ready to get shot.
Yep.
The split up made no sense to me.
At all, no.
So Ricky, the problem with Ricky is he busy scratching off lottery tickets and not paying attention to how dangerous the situation was.
Man, it's almost like the sideshow situation because his brother was able to bail him out of that. You didn't take it serious.
He didn't take it serious. He didn't take Ferris serious.
Yeah, he didn't take it serious.
He didn't take Ferris serious. And that lets me know that he must didn't know enough of the history of Ferris to even take him serious. But Cube did. You know, Doughboy was like, when he seen that red car go by, he was like, oh shit, Rick. Because he know Ferris is about that bullshit. Yep. So Doughboy knew, and his homeboys knew. But Ricky was kind of like, not taking it serious. Even Trey took it serious.
Even Trey
was
bro, like, man, we shouldn't split up, man.
We don't need to split up, man. If we need to throw some heads, man, we need to be together.
Yeah.
Ricky just didn't take it serious, man. And I wish we could have gotten a little bit more realistic with that scene as far as Ricky being more serious about it. I don't feel like in that situation, even if they split up, which wouldn't have made no sense, he would be scratching off a lottery ticket, not paying attention to these niggas that's trying to kill him. He holding milk or cornmeal.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all just ran from him.
You just
and hopped over some fences to get away, and then this is what you want to do. You want to go scratch a lottery
and not
ticket.
even pay attention. So as they're walking, one of the dopest scenes in the movie and most tragic scenes, Trey sees from a distance the guys pull up. Ricky's still scratching off a damn lottery ticket, and he yells his name. And that yell, people still talk about that yell to this day, how powerful it was. Because you knew that was going to end Ricky's. That yell meant Ricky's about to die. Like, straight up.
Yep.
So when he says Ricky and he yells Ricky, Ricky turns around and starts running, but it's just too late. He was too close to the curb. They pulled right there. And it was kind of easy, you know, shooting fish in a barrel type situation.
Most definitely.
Like, he right there.
Right there.
Bam.
Got him.
Now, he gets shot, and he didn't go all the way down, which might have made it worse for him because he kept trying to run. And that second shot is what went through his body, which essentially killed him, which is what killed him.
Right.
At this time, Doughboy and his homeboys pulling up. Trey is holding him, holding his head up. They pull up. You can see the pain in the homeboy's face because they see he ain't gonna make it. He leaking way too much. So and then Chris rolls up, and even Chris is like,
Chris pulled up, and
this is not good. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I want to talk about, why do you think they took his damn body home?
I'm confused
to the
about
damn
that.
doctor.
I don't understand. I almost, and when I seen that scene, I was like, is this what they do down there? Is it some type of thing?
I understand you don't call the police.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
But he just got shot with a shotgun twice. And you literally threw him on the couch.
Yeah, I could.
With his mother there and his baby mama and son there. Yeah. That made no sense to me.
I still look at that and be like, maybe that was part of the gang life. That's just what they did.
I don't want no parts of that life.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me to the hospital.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So every time I see that, and then like the first time I saw it, I took it as, okay, but maybe that's some gang stuff that I don't know nothing about.
We don't know nothing about.
Because I couldn't see myself picking my sibling up and taking them home, man. Like that.
Home. And then yell, mama, mama.
Yeah.
She comes out. She's screaming hysterically, which any woman would.
Of course.
The girlfriend is screaming.
Yeah.
The little baby is screaming.
The baby definitely shouldn't be there looking at that.
Definitely should not be around no shit like that. He leaking all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
Trey is now super emotional about it. So he leaves, tells Doughboy, meet me at my house in 5 minutes. Goes home. He knows where his dad 357 is. He goes, loads up the gun. His dad walks in. He knows what he's back there doing. Even though he said, Trey, what you back there doing?
Right.
He know he in my room. I already know what he in my room doing. He loading up the gun.
Yeah, especially with all this tragedy. Well, I see.
Like, Trey, what you back there doing in my room? I already know what you doing in my room. You pulling my damn gun out.
Yeah.
So Trey comes out. He got the gun in his hand. His dad knows that his son is a square. You ain't about that life. So one thing I loved about this particular scene is like, Furious is like, nigga, if you gonna shoot me. But I'm not letting you leave this house with this gun. Now that's a real father.
That's a real father.
Either you gonna dead me.
If you gonna shoot something, then you gonna shoot me.
You gonna shoot me.
Because you're not about to go out there and shoot nothing else.
Not at all.
If you brave enough to shoot me, then you brave enough to shoot them.
Yeah. It's like, that's some real father shit. That's some shit that my father would have done to me. Nigga, we gonna fight. And somebody gonna get shot over this fight. But I'm not gonna allow you to just walk out and go murder somebody.
No.
There's incidents that can escalate into a gunplay, which the court understands. Then there's hunting somebody down to murder them, which is a life sentence. That's a whole different sentence right there.
Yeah.
One is temporary insanity, shit just got out of hand.
Right.
And one is, I came home, I got a gun, and I went looking. I thought about it, and I still did it. Like Fierce is like, oh no, we don't do that in this house.
You're like, nuh-uh.
He said, give me the motherfucking gun, Trey. And Trey, being a square, gave him the gun, cried in his arms. But still being emotional.
Oh yeah.
He jumps out the window.
Of course, man.
As Brandy comes in to check
after
on
that
him.
hug, you're like, man, fuck that. My friend's still gone, so I got to do something.
He's still dealing with the pain. He got blood on him. And that's the thing that people got to understand. Once you get that blood on you, it's different.
It's different.
It's
a different mindset.
Different. It's totally different. It's totally different.
There.
I've seen 3 people like die in front of me, get shot, die in front of me, and when you see it, it's not like the movies. It's not dramatic like the movies. But what you do see is mentally, it's like, damn, that person, his spirit is gone.
Yeah.
Like you literally, I'm not gonna say you literally see the soul come about him, but
you
see them breathing, eyes open, and to where it's just like, and they're gone. And it changes you because it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard to process it.
Yeah.
And I seen it at a young age. Thankfully, I haven't seen it as an older man, but as a teenager, I've seen it 3 different times, and it's traumatic every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, it's a situation where I cannot talk to my parents about it because they never experienced it.
That's crazy.
All of their friends are still alive.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they never had to deal with friends being murdered like their son had to deal with. So we definitely need to get our young black men help, especially nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
So Doughboy and his friends basically go looking for the guys. Trey is in the car. Trey is feeling the spirit of his dad. His dad is sitting there rolling the things in his hand. The exercise balls, whatever you want to call them, in his hand. Praying to God that nothing is going bad with his son. And I guess Trey felt it. Felt that vibe I need to get my ass back home.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't for me. Trey like, Doe, let me out. And what I love about that scene is like, Doe let him out. They didn't fight with him.
No peer pressure.
No peer pressure. Yeah. I love that part because you would expect Doe to be like, nigga, you ain't getting you in it.
Yeah, that's gang mentality, you know?
That's the gang
what you talking
mentality.
About? I mean, you saw it in Menace to Society. Nah, we gonna hide these. We don't hear no punk shit talking, nigga. We don't care for no kids outside. We gonna hide these fools.
He said it could be grandmamas outside.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's what was the difference about that. They was like, he looked at him like, all right.
So Doe lets him out. They find the guys. Essentially, they kill him. I think they found him at a Fat Burger or something. They was eating burgers or some shit. Yeah. And they gun him down. And it's weird because Ferris's character, once he kills the first 2 guys, Ferris's character thought he was going to get some leniency because he didn't pull the trigger. Nigga, I don't care. He didn't pull a damn trigger. Like, what the fuck you doing I didn't pull the trigger. You think that's gonna save you?
That was funny. Hey, it ain't funny, but it's funny as hell.
It
because
is
like,
funny,
really,
though.
dude? You really think you're gonna get some sympathy
You're
now?
the dude who instigated this whole thing on the street at the street thing.
You instigated. You drove around the corner to make sure
You're the driver.
Make sure your homie got him, yo.
You're the driver. You're the instigator of the whole thing. At the sideshow,
he had the 9 in his hand, right? He had the
Uzi.
The tech. Yeah,
you
had
the tech.
You shot the tech in your hand. Talking about you didn't pull the trigger. You aggravated up this whole situation.
Then now that he got you down, now you like, but I didn't pull the fucking trigger. Then you get some balls and say, well, fuck you. Yeah, because he knew he was done.
Yeah, he was like,
you can see it in Doughboy's face. Nigga, you finna die.
Yeah, exactly.
All this talking is formality.
Shut up. Shut up.
Go ahead and take what you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
You know how this go. You know. So Doughboy basically execute all 3, and they get back in the car and go. And then we get to the next day, to where Trey comes outside. I think he eating pomegranates or something like that. And then Doughboy walks over to talk to him. And during the conversation, he says, "Did you get him?" And it was so dope. Doughboy never said nothing.
Yes.
He just gave him a look.
That's
that street shit.
That street shit. That was
we
real
ain't finna
shit.
talk about this shit. But this one look is gonna let you know everything you need to know.
Yep. That was some real shit right there. Because you kind of wonder how things go in the street like that. And then for them to show like a shooter saying, I ain't gonna tell you I shot him.
I'm never gonna
but
say
you know
it.
what happened.
I'm never gonna say that.
Yeah. But
so it was kind of dope. He gave that look, and then Trey was like,
like, yeah, I know.
you so calm, your demeanor. I know you got him.
Yeah.
By the way you walked over here.
Yeah.
I already know how you get down. Doughboy finally lets out that, I ain't got no brother. I ain't got no mother neither. He said she liked that food more than she loved me. I'm her oldest.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get the most love.
Yeah. He probably just got a little because of Ricky. So once he was
very
gone,
little.
Yeah. So once he was gone, that was gone.
Oh, yeah. So Trey says, you still got one brother left. They give a hug. He walks. And as he's walking, sadly, it says 2 weeks later, he was murdered. Yeah. And unfortunately, that is real life.
That's just real life right there. We hear the gunshots in the hood. And, the reason why we keep hearing them is because it's retaliation is at an all-time high, yo.
Retaliation is a must. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of people smartly moving out of the town that got beef. They might come back and do some dirt, but they're not living in the town no more because they understand it's so small. The chance you running into your ops is high.
High. It's 150% chance.
And he's going to knock your head off.
Oh, yeah.
Because you out here playing.
Yeah.
You ain't getting a second chance.
No.
And that's that.
Yeah.
So let's get to the rating. What do you rate this? 1 to 10, 7 being good, 8 being great, 9 being excellent, but 10 being perfect.
I can't give it perfect. I will give it 9, excellent. Just because the things we talked about in the beginning, a father teaching his son how to navigate through the hood, man, that was so impressive. And it is impressive if anyone is doing that, raising their son to make sure that they don't get caught up. It's
very impressive. I'm at 9. I'm at 9 because there's little flaws in it.
Yeah, but
I don't hold that against John. That was his first movie.
Yeah,
and this
most
is
definitely.
1991.
Yeah, that's why I can't give it a 10, but the 9 is. You definitely get that for your first movie, man.
That's a great score for your first movie. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Because the flaws in the movie were stuff that he was going to have regardless because he's a first-time filmmaker. He don't have all the resources to get the good kid actors that look like like all that stuff comes with you just being a first-time director.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
So I don't hold that against him. I still think the script was great.
The script was dope.
It's an excellent script.
The script was
for
dope.
the first time. Your first... Boom, grand slam out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, great awesome. Script.
Man, can't say nothing bad about that.
Nothing bad about it. It shaped how black stories were told from the hood after that.
Hey, and I could say I probably took pieces of this movie, incorporate my parenting style
Yeah.
from it. So
Yeah.
that's definitely why it gets a 9, man, because all those parts that made you say, all right, this is how you teach your son how to be a man, so definitely.
So this being the main ingredient, name of the show, in your opinion, what was the main ingredient of this movie that made you give it a 9? What was the one thing?
The main ingredient was, like, I'm gonna have to repeat myself. The main ingredient was basically the father and son conversation, because you got to have that early to shape your kids. I mean, we were just talking about how in junior high they was already with the shit. So that's really the perfect age for you to really get your son in check right then and now before it goes sour.
Yeah, junior high was wild.
Yeah.
My father was on me tough until junior high, and that's when he let loose. And I feel like that's when he should have been on me tighter about what I was going, and who I was hanging with and shit like that. But he was kind of like, he older, he on automatic, Chris would be good, blah, blah, blah. But he had no idea what I was seeing.
Right. Had no
and what
idea,
I was going through. You know what I'm saying? And not until I became an adult, and we had this conversation where he teared up and was like, I wish you would have told me you was going through all this shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how can I?
Right.
How could I at that time, 1984, you from the South, I'm from the city, you've never dealt with friends dying the way I'm dealing with. Like, you had no idea what I was going through. You couldn't help me through that. Sadly, a lot of stuff is going on in this movie, still going on today.
Yeah, sadly.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Very sadly. A lot of stuff that we see in this movie still exists. The ratchet ass mamas, the gang banging, people dying every night over senseless violence and stuff like that.
All
that shit still's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I just posted that comment about, women should work on themselves if they want to, instead of trying to have a baby to keep their man. I mean, that's still happening today. So that's why, it happens in the past and it's still happening now. So when I say stuff like that, I'm trying to get my kid to see what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Or anybody else that's young that don't have kids yet. I'm always trying to say stuff that, to get you thinking, all right, you might be in a situation like this, and the best way to navigate is to do this or that, so I'm always, that's just me, man. I'm always trying to give what I went through, try to correct what stuff that I went through, with these youngsters.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
My main ingredient for it is just the screenplay. I just love the way it was written. Like, I love movies that are written very well and they don't waste words on the paper.
Yes.
Every word was needed in this film.
Yes, most definitely.
To tell the story.
Yes.
There's no wasted words.
No.
I just did a podcast with my cousin Gerald Williams about Soldier Story. That was another film that I felt like every single word mattered. But this one definitely mattered.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that every character said had to be said.
Yep.
For it to feel the way it felt to us at that time, and even how it feels now when I watch it. Still feels as strong as important now than it was 30 years ago.
Still
feels the same. It was a very, like, I can't say enough about how good this movie was to be his first film.
Right.
Just consider he was 24, I think, or something like that. And this is your first film out of film school.
Yeah.
Big props to John Singleton.
Big props, John Singleton.
Big props.
Yeah.
He will always have my respect, and admiration for it. Doing it the way he did. He did it his way.
Right.
He did his movie his way.
Yes, he did.
So yeah. But once again, CMT, I'm thankful for you coming through.
Oh man.
And doing Boyz N the Hood with me.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me.
I gotta bring you back to do another one. We'll pick another one.
Oh yeah.
We'll bring back another one. But let them know where they can find you.
Oh, so CMT Miraculous, that's the name. You'll find me on Twitter, IG, TikTok. Way Under Par is the label, Way Under Par Media. You can go on the YouTube, Way Under Par Media. Got all my video. If you go to YouTube, search CMT Tracks. It'll give you all my history of all the beats I've done all over the years, just in case y'all, skeptical if I did them, I'll let.
Must have forgot.
Yeah, if y'all forgot about any of the tracks that I've done, just search CMT Tracks, one word, CMT Tracks, and you'll see all the hits I done did, and then look out for the new, EP that's out with me and the homie Israel Ships. It's real dope. I mean,
Super.
I'm proud about this. Yeah,
heard it.
We ain't giving it away on streaming yet. Because I mean, I don't think any artist should be giving away stuff on streaming with the dollar they giving us. So, I'm down with that movement right now.
With
so
the percentage of a penny.
Right, that part. So we're not trying to do that. So
The percentage of a penny.
if you really down with artists like you say you are, man, go click the link in my IG or just go to CMT Miraculous Bandcamp.com and get that EP, man. It's only $7. I mean, I know you can afford that. So that's
once
where we
again, thank you, my brother, for coming.
Sure. Yeah.
The platinum producer, CMT.
Yeah.
Platinum. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, it's the main ingredient. I'm Chris Ellis, your host. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.